Sorry. Maximilian. Intro loud. Oh yeah, RLG. For sure RLG, like, but I'll talk about it more once the episode actually starts. So, but there's a lot to that question, more than just, you know, is it supposed to play like it? Just want to make sure I have everything set up over here. Just starting off a little bit here, just to let everybody know that, yeah, obviously I'm going to be probably starting to try to stream a little bit later in the day from this point forward, just because trying to put some consistency, I guess, in my daily schedule. I definitely had a chance to I know I mentioned like a month ago that I managed to get a gym membership thanks to donations and such, and so after the hecticness that was August, where I was basically I had no control over my schedule for like the majority of August. Now that September is around, I'm able to you know, try to get back into a normal flow of things. And one of those things to do is to try to make sure I have the time to be able to jump into the gym from time to time. Hey, what's up, Nutacon? 82 months. Wow, 82 months. But I have been, so a couple of days already, I've already gone to the gym. Not just doing cardio stuff right now, just trying to make sure that I can, what do you call it? Just get back into the swing of things. I don't know if I'm under the weather. Like, nothing about me feels like I'm under the weather. I'm just sniffling a lot. And I think, I think largely what's happening might just be allergies, because it's like so hot or something. Like, it's super humid. Like, as soon as I got back from Saudi Arabia, like, SoCal is super humid right now. And so it's like driving me nuts. And so I think it's like allergies or something. But yeah, like, I'm sniffling a lot, but I have like literally no signs of sickness outside of the sniffling. And it's very, very bizarre. And very kind of annoying, actually. Let me see here. Main display. Got to do our... Wow, my camera's hot. God, it's so warm up here. But gotta do the start over here. Standard start for Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Oh. Oh. But yeah, the one thing that obviously that's very different about actually going to the gym and doing some cardio exercises. Holy God crap, I'm tired right now. Like, I could just pass out if I just laid down. I'd be out like in a second, but gonna try to stay awake so that way I can pass out, you know, when it's actually bedtime and stuff like that. So we'll see if I can actually do that. Ah, look at this guy. Oh God, the kitty. Grab my where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Brushy time. Because you're going to be, oh God, immediately you want the cheek scratch. Jesus. Like, I barely started brushing him, and immediately he's like, oh, that's the thing that you used to brush my face. Needless to say, I did not get a Tokon code, unfortunately. I don't know anybody who has. Like, is anybody in the FGC that we know have a Tokon code? I gotta imagine it'd be like, you know, Justin, Maximilian, those guys have probably gotten codes, but I have the funny feeling that a lot of people didn't get codes. It's crazy. Oh, I know, you are your own gym, but the thing about it is, the reason why I got the gym is that by far my favorite cardio exercise, anything, whatever you want to call it, is swimming. I can't do treadmills. I can't do stuff like that. I mean, I'll get into weight training in a little bit more later on, but swimming is by far my favorite form of cardio exercise. And so it makes a big difference for me to be able to have access to a pool. So that's why I signed up for the gym, because yes, you are right. You can do a lot of things at home. But swimming, yeah, see, that's the thing is, like you said, swimming is the best, right? Because it's low impact, it's cardio, it's strength training, all that stuff at the same time. But the key factor to it for me is that I freaking love swimming, right? Ever since I was a kid, like, I just took to swimming, like, instantaneously. And so, like, literally, I've been to the gym twice now. I'm posting all of my updates on my Discord. So if you guys want to join the Discord, and the Discord's going to become very important pretty soon, because I'm also going to add some channels for a lot of people seem to really like that match analysis that I did on the Shanghai Blas matchup. So I want to do more match analyses. And so, like, at some point in time, I'm going to create channels where you guys can suggest matches. And then I'm also going to create one channel that is for, like, Twitch subscribers in particular, so that they get, like, preferential consideration and stuff like that. But, you know, if you guys have, like, any sort of match analysis that you want really badly, joining the Discord will be important. But I have a new health channel on the Discord where I talk about, like, my health, and I'm just going to kind of keep track of what I've done during that. But the thing is, I love swimming. And so the first day I went back to the gym, I started swimming. And sure, like, this is my first time I've done cardio exercise in, like, for freaking ever. So, like, right when I started, I just, like, was like, oh my God, I was so winded after, like, a couple of laps, right? I was just like, oh my God, I'm so out of shape. But here's the thing, is, like, I just kept swimming. I didn't go for very long. I didn't want to overdo it on the first day. And so I just did a little bit of swimming. And towards the end of it, even though I was tired, I just kept going. I just kept going because, again, I enjoy swimming. And no matter how tired I am, I can always keep swimming. I don't know what it is. Like, I can try to exhaust myself, but then I can just keep going. And so today when I went to the gym, like, I immediately had none of that windedness at the very start. I just started swimming, and I did, like, 50% more laps than I did the first day. I'm going to keep trying to increase it little by little. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not doing freestyle. I'm just doing breaststroke right now because, but that one's actually pretty good for you too because it exercises a lot of the muscles and the movement. Like freestyle obviously is a little bit more cardio, but breaststroke is definitely more of the just like the whole body kind of workout thing, which is why I like doing that a lot. But that's just the thing is I like, if you told me to like do this on an elliptical or on a bike or on a treadmill, like I would just be like, ugh. Like it's funny because even after I was done, I did an extra lap right at the very end because I was like, I could just do another extra lap. And like, honestly, I felt like I could have just kept going if I really wanted to. But like I said, I don't want to overdo it while I'm trying to get back in there. But there's something about swimming that like, I don't know, maybe it's just like because you don't necessarily, I mean, obviously you're sweating, but you don't feel it because you're in the pool. Maybe you don't sweat because it's cold in there, you know, it's cool in there or something. But like, there's something about the process of swimming that I just don't get like tired and exhausted to that point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Oh, like I hate this. This is suffering. Look at the timer. How much longer do I have to go? You know, like I can basically just kind of swim forever, which I've done in the past when I did used to swim a lot more for exercise. I would just swim for like 2 hours straight, just, you know, like just like at some points in time, because like I said, just something about that form of exercise that works really well for me. And so, like I said, right now, I don't care about the muscle building. I just want to cardio, but swimming does build the muscles at the same time just by nature of the swimming, right? So, and that's the other thing too, is that my back is not the strongest, but my feet are bad. I have very flat feet, so whenever I do running, my back starts to hurt really badly. That's why I have to do ellipticals and bikes, you know, and exercise bikes. I can't do treadmills. But swimming is just like, people joke it's because I'm an Aquarius that I took to swimming so well. But like when my dad first tried to teach me swimming, I mean, like there are literally like photos of baby James being taken into the pool by my dad, and I just am laughing and giggling and smiling and like, you know, just like having a grand old time. Whereas my older brother, when my dad took him into the pool, like he was terrified and screaming and stuff. Me, I was just like, wee, you know, I loved it. So I heard running can be bad for you since it puts pressure on your joints. Yeah. And for me in particular, because my feet are really flat and I've been walking with bad posture for forever now, it's just, it hurts me. So yeah, RLG, for sure. I mean, this is the worst part for me. If I stop drinking sodas, my weight will just disappear. Like, that's where almost all of my calories come from, are these things right here. So I'm slowly working on trying to drink less sodas. I don't eat well either, but the thing about it is, like, I know... I have part of my mom's metabolism. Like, my mom has been skinny her whole entire life, right? So she's never gained weight. My brother has it, and I have it a little bit, but the problem is I also have my dad's appetite. So I eat a lot more than other people. But the thing about it is, because I don't exercise, because I don't do anything except sit here and work on my computer all day or just, you know, cuddle with cats, like, I'm not doing anything for myself. I just want to start exercising first. I'm not going to worry about changing the diet completely. Like, I'm trying to be better about it. I'm eating less. I'm not changing what I'm eating. I'm eating less, which is a huge, I mean, that's a good start anyway. In any case, I'm just trying to I'm trying to manage things little by little, because the one thing that's always the hardest part is when you're like, time to lose weight, and then you jump in it, you start cutting out sodas, you drink less food, you go to the gym, and eventually you reach that tipping point where you're just like, I'm miserable. The first thing that happens that you get depressed, and I get depressed a lot, is you immediately jump back to eating it, and it all just falls apart, right? Everything just falls apart. So I don't want to try to do anything crazy like that. I just want to be healthier, right? Healthier, right? I don't need to become like crazy, like FGC fit, like ripped kind of thing like that. So I'm just trying to do things slowly. And so the swimming is an excellent start, because one, it is one of the absolute best cardio exercises, and two, I love it. I absolutely love it. And right, I'll get to the weights at some point in time. Like I said, right now all I'm doing is just the swimming part. I'm just working on the cardio. Once I feel like I've lost a little more weight, I'll probably go into the weight training. And again, I understand that doing good weightlifting actually is like burns more calories than cardio, right? But the thing is, I just don't want to put myself into that position where I have to like go hardcore into weightlifting, because I'm not very good at it. I don't enjoy it. So I'm just trying to get myself into the routine of prioritizing going to the gym, swimming for not even that long, 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, going home, and then just doing the rest of the day as I do. And then eventually the time will increase, etc., etc. Basically, I'm trying to ease myself into everything that I'm doing right now. So in case you guys just joined, I've actually been, I've finally started the gym arc for James Chen here, and I've actually managed to go to the gym earlier today and a couple of days ago, and just swim, because again, I love swimming. I have always enjoyed swimming, and the two cardio things that I have enjoyed the most in my life are swimming and Dance Dance Revolution. But swimming is obviously better for you, so I'm just doing that right now. So yeah, and exactly, because I enjoy it, Norm, that's something that will help me keep up with it, right? It's something that will make sure that I do not quit after some time or something like that. So, I mean, there's so many different things to do, right? RLG. Like, I have a friend who was very overweight, and he did the Atkins diet thing, right? So he just cut out carbs and he just eats meat like crazy. I know it's not the healthiest way, but it's working for him, right? So there's all sorts of different ways to do to lose the weight, you know, some of them better than others. And for me right now, like I said, I'm not trying to push myself to some crazy degree. I'm not looking to just like disappear and like lose 50 pounds in like 2 months, you know, like I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to build the habit. I'm just trying to get myself used to it again, going to the gym, making that a part of my routine, because that's the other important part, right? You can do all the crazy exercises in the world, but if you can't get to the point where you make this just a part of your weekly routine, you're never going to succeed. And it's easier to quit going to the gym when you're like, I just don't feel like lifting any weights today. And so I know free weights are better. I probably won't go free weights right away. I'll probably do machines first, or, you know, those workbenches and stuff like that. I'll probably do a lot of those to start with and maybe transition to free weights at some point. But that's kind of down the line. It's just, I've had this arc before. I'm almost 50 years old. I've done this arc so many times where I like go to the gym and I start working out, and then I'm just like, every time I think about going to the gym, I'm just like, I just don't want to go, you know, because it's miserable. I don't enjoy it. And so it's easy to fall off the wagon, per se. No, it's not normal for gyms to have a pool, which is why I was targeting a very, very specific gym. It is a 24-hour fitness, so it isn't just like some individual gym. It's definitely a franchise. But even most 24-hour fitnesses, I don't think have pools in them. And so this one I know had one, which is why I specifically wanted to get a membership to that gym. Oh my God, RLG, that's crazy. Jesus Christ. I saw someone lose 200 pounds with the help of DDR. Yeah, I definitely, like I said, ooh, cosplay as the swimmer guy, Flashy Flash. That means I get to do infinites on the larger opponents. Yeah, so I can't do sparkling water yet. What's up? Thank you for the follow, Maximusix. Sorry, I'm not talking about fighting games yet, just talking about my own personal life over here and stuff. I can't do sparkling waters yet because I'm so accustomed to sodas that if I drink sparkling water, they taste super bitter to me because I expect to have the sweet taste of soda with the fizziness. And because the flavor is like, hello, taste, are you there? You know, kind of Homer Simpson style, like sparkling water is very bitter tasting to me, and I haven't been able to get used to it. Now, the good thing is, though, is that my hydration routines are much better now because I've learned how to fight my ADHD. So I drink a lot more water than I used to do by just drinking straight out of the gallon like this. Because even when I had water bottles, I put them in a convenient location. But then I'd be like, I still felt like I had to reach over, grab it, open it. And it's weird because, like, it sounds like, Jesus Christ, how lazy are you, James? No. It's the ADHD. For those of you who have ADHD and you understand this, is that every little thing that can act as any form of roadblock, right? Like, so I'll be talking to you guys, I'll be streaming, I'll be doing all this stuff, talking blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, oh, I'm out of this bottle of water. I need to get a new bottle of water, but I don't want to turn, reach over, grab it, open. You know, like, it's weird. Like, it's not a laziness. It's just like it doesn't feel like the effort is worth it. But if I'm sitting here streaming and talking to you guys and this jug is just open this whole entire time and I could just at any point just pick it up and be like, and then this thing is here the entire time because it takes a long time to finish. Well, it depends. Some streams I'll go through like half of these while sitting here. Sometimes while I'm playing games, I'll go through it really fast. But sometimes just having it there like this, and then every time it runs out, like, it's easier to know that all I have to do is grab another one, open it, and I have that same situation again for a long period of time. I also tried to use the beautiful, James Kyo water bottle that Investigation Cone gave me, and fill water in there and drink it from there. But then every time it got empty, it worked. I would go through those really fast, but when it got empty, I was like, oh, well, now I've got to turn around and fill it up or whatever. And it was just enough to kind of, ADHD logic your way to not doing it. But now when I sit here and I'm like, oh God, my throat feels dry. It's so easy. It's so easy that way. Yeah, again, for those of you guys who know, you know, right? So, let's see here. Yeah, absolutely, Douglas. You got to learn to love fitness. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just make sure that I'm actually enjoying it. And like I said, swimming is just something that I take to so well. And it never feels like when I swim, it doesn't feel like exercise. Like I'm just enjoying swimming, you know? I think I just really hate getting sweaty. You know? I think that actually is a lot to it. So half soda water, half regular water with some cut up citrus in it. Yeah, I'm slowly working, you know, my way to drinking less sodas. You know, obviously, like I said, I'm drinking waters more often and stuff like that. So, yeah, exactly. So, I started the channel literally 2 days ago, right after I got out of the pool the first time. And a bunch of us have already been talking in the Discord about that stuff. What's up? Elise up EU 200. Maybe that's what it is. I'm assuming, or it could be Elizapew 200. I'm not sure. But if you do want to join the Discord, and so we can all just talk about health and stuff like that, you can join the Discord there. Let me copy and paste it into the YouTube chat as well. There we go. Boom. So I sent it to the YouTube as well. But yeah, and also, honestly, I keep wanting to build the Discord up, but I'm so bad at promoting it. Like, I want to create it as kind of like a good way for people to matchmake, and you know, to find people of your skill level to play with you, and encourage people just to stream their matches on the Discord so anybody can just come in and watch and hang out and stuff like that. But also, you know, obviously, you know, Twitter has its own rules, and Twitter is a horrible place for discourse and stuff like that. So, you know, one of my main goals with the Discord is to create a Discord that it's my Discord, my rules, and so we won't tolerate hate in there, you know. Like I'm like, I have it set up so that it's easy for anybody to report anything to me, and I will, you know, ban bad actors and, you know, jerks and stuff like that. So you and your father always go to the gym when you were a kid, man. See, that's nice, honestly. Yeah, so Nutacon says, Zilcho, Lurker Spine, and himself have streamed Guilty Gear. And I want to get back into Guilty Gear, too. I need to get back into it, because it's been a while since I've played it, and I just feel like I've lost touch with the game, and I really, really want to get back into the game. So, Douglas says, I got my ADHD diagnosis in January after hearing about your symptoms. 8 months later, I'm down 60 pounds. Started at 240, down to 180. Strattera changed my life. What's Strattera? Is that like is that one of those sugars or something like that? But I'm really glad. That's great. And I mean, so what happened, Douglas? Did the doctor actually tell you that you did have ADHD? And so oh, that's right. It's Strattera is one of the medications for ADHD. Dude, I'm so happy for you, dude. That's awesome. My reaction to the meds hasn't been as strong, but my psychiatrist has often said that it's harder for the ADHD meds to work for me if, one, because I'm depressed all the time, so a lot of it could be depression, and two, my sleep hygiene is really bad. So he's like, yeah, if you don't get enough sleep, like, a lot of these medications can't actually help you as much as you'd like it to. So I don't know, like, that's another thing that I've got to fix, which is why I said it was Tuesday. I'm probably going to start it at around 7:30, 8 o'clock most weeks now, because that's like a good time for me to start streaming. It's right after I feed my cats. I can get everything done in the morning and the afternoons, just going to the gym. And that way I can try to be more consistent. And every Tuesday I'm like, I'm late. And now I don't have to worry about that as much. And so I want to see if I can start streaming consistently at around 7:30 to 8 o'clock and stream until midnight like I typically do and stuff like that. Hey, thank you for the resubscription to Halu. So yeah, I'm trying to do all that stuff. Yeah. Boo Boo Mobile saying it's relatable. Yeah. Again, as a person with ADHD, like, I definitely have to work harder to get myself into these positions where I know I can, create these routines and try to be more consistent. So, but no, I'm super happy for you, Douglas. Like, that's like a lot of people I talk to who have had ADHD meds. Yeah, they say that they take it and like your whole world changes, right? Like some people, they take it and I felt it too. There are some days, and usually coincidentally on days that I get really good sleep, and then I wake up early, I take a ADHD med, and then for some reason, like during the day, you're just like, I really should take care of this. And like without even like cognizantly processing it, you find yourself doing it and you're like, whoa, I like teleported into the chore. Like you're not even sure how you got there, but you're doing the chore. You're like, whoa, this is crazy. When you don't have the meds, it's like I said, everything is a roadblock. Like thinking about having to do anything that can be a roadblock is there. And again, I quote the thing that I saw on Facebook, on Twitter, but like it's like the mantra for me right now to really explain to people, because a lot of people are like, I say, oh, my ADHD prevents me from cleaning, my ADHD, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, you're just lazy, James. But like, it's weird because to really understand ADHD, what I read was that if you're lazy, you hope somebody else does it, right? So if you're just like, oh God, the dishes are there. If someone else does the dishes, you're like, yes, I don't have to do it. When you're ADHD, you don't do it, but you don't want anybody else to do it. And that's where I am. Like, I don't want other people, like, if I needed to, like, move something from here to here and I'm lazy and someone starts picking it up, you're like, no, don't do it. I got it. Like, you don't want people to do these things for you because it's not laziness. It's just that you just can't get over that barrier to actually do it. And so like a lot of times if I'm lazy on something and somebody's like, oh, I'll just do this for you, suddenly I will be able to get up and do it because my desire to not have them do it is stronger than my ADHD, in a weird way. And so like, it's very, very different, like there was one point in time I had to drag this big heavy thing out to the alley to have the city take away with trash collection, I kept putting it off over and over and over again. Hey, thank you. Look at that white lens with the 9-month subscription, the hype train. We're 63% of the way to level 1. But like, I didn't take it to the alley, and someone made the comment like, oh, you know what? You're blah, blah, blah. You're just too lazy to take it out there. That's why it's not out there. I was like, no, actually, like, because I think they were like, I'll help you take it out there, if you can get over the laziness. And I was like, no, actually, the highest chance of things to happen is that I would want to take it out to the alley by myself. I don't want somebody to help me because I don't want to inconvenience anybody else. And I think I could do it myself. And so I'll actually try to figure out a way to do it myself. As opposed, and like if somebody else was like, hey, I'm big and strong, I'll do it for you, just as a friend, I'd be like, no, don't do that. Yo, dang, white lens with the gift subs. Holy crap. The hype train instantly jumped out to level 3. Thank you, 5% through level 3 in any case. Thank you that. Oh, that's right, it is September. I always forget September exists and I never actually promote it. But if you guys are willing to subscribe, like I said, the benefit also will be that you can start suggesting things for me to analyze, matches to analyze. And yes, this Comba fan, this was from Evo like it had to have been like Evo 2015, 2014 or something like that. But I love this fan. And to be honest with you, I actually want to, so the hardest thing is like when you go onto Amazon, you know, Amazon is overrun by all those weird generic brand stuff, you know, that you can't tell what the quality is really bad. But I just want to buy a bunch of small paper fans and just have them with me when I travel. Because there's been a lot of times on commentary where it just gets ridiculously hot where I'm at, or for example, before my 16-hour flight home on the airplane, for some reason, while we were sitting there at the gate, the plane just warmed up. The couple sitting next to me literally had an electric fan, and they're like, here, borrow our fan because you look like you need it, because I was just like sweating. And I was like, are you sure? And they're like, here, use it. And so that actually helped. But yeah, like if I could just get because the thing about it is like, I oftentimes will get things like my badge. Like I'll have the badge from the convention, I'll fan myself, or I'll get my, you know, boarding passes and I fan myself. But I'll tell you right now, the amount of effort it takes to cool yourself down using those kind of things, I think warms you up more than it actually cools you down. I don't know what it is about these paper fans. Might just be because they're so, you know, they cover more area or something, but they don't take a lot of effort to do this, and they cool you down really well. Like a lot of the times when I'm using something else to try to fan myself because it's so small or whatever like that, like I feel like I get more warmed up and tired from trying to fan myself than I actually get cool from fanning myself, you know? Thank you, Max. Yes, it's a great way to put it. A man who does a 6-hour SF6 analysis is everything but lazy. And that's the ADHD, right? When you're doing something you enjoy, you just get so into it. That's the you know, the OCD, the obsessive compulsive disorder, et cetera, et cetera. So that's when you know you're old. I remember my dad fanning me all the time. Oh, man. I mean, the crazy thing is, I mean, right now, Southern California, especially in where I'm at right now, is just blisteringly humid. Like, I went back and visited my parents yesterday. They live in the desert. It was undoubtedly hotter out there than it was here, but it didn't bother me. Like, I was like, okay, it's hot, but that's fine. But like right now here where I'm at, like on the west side, it's hot, not as hot, but it's just extremely humid. And I am just not a fan of this humidity. Oh my God, and now Nutacon with gift subs. Now we've got the 22% through the hype train of level 4. Appreciate you guys. So we've got here. Let me. So White Lens did the 5 gift subs earlier. That was to Chiavani, Menkor, Say No to Weebs, Yarts, and Ukamunka. I know who that is. And then Nutacon right here just gifted a few more subs here to Boo Boo Mobile, B-Way Law, Platinum Distortion, Super Shinobi, and Spider-Man with a gun. So thank you, Nutacon. Thank you, White Lens. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Again, I should try to promote my Discord more often. Like, I should actually just, like, literally take ad breaks just to actually advertise the Discord instead of actually running ads or something like that. But in any case, yeah, so I'm trying to stream more at 7:30 because I really want... The other thing about the fan, too, is that it's just, like, the way that it's designed and that you can kind of rest it on your arm like this when you do this. So you create a pivot point. It's like you're not actually... Like, this is why you see people carry fans like this all the time. because it just works on your arm like this, and creating that pivot point makes it so much easier to use. Like if you actually just hold the fan like this and do this, I think that's what it is. This is tiring. This is tiring. This warms you up. But if you can get it down here like this, like, again, like just having it on your arm like this is not tiring. And I think that's the reason why this thing works. And, you know, part of that Chinese ingenuity. So, yeah. But thank you guys for the gift subs and everything like that, keeping the hype train rolling. But yeah, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about Marvel Tokon, because I've been wanting to talk about it since EVO, but obviously after EVO, I'm just like incredibly busy, because after EVO, so it wasn't this bad before, but after EVO, it used to just be that, you know, my friend would come over, he would stay for a week, and we would just chill and hang out and, you know, play games and do whatever stupid shit. And then this year, 2 of my best friends came out, and so all 3 of us hung out. And then as soon as they left, I had to prep for EWC. Ended up going to EWC. That's a whole week-long trip and everything. So, oh boy, I just haven't had a chance to stream as much and talk about a lot of the stuff. So I wanted to talk about Marvel Tokon. So I will probably try to do that. Now see if you can do a fatality with the fan. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, you know what? Does she do that? I think Katana does that in the original MK2, where she actually like swipes this way, right? Like, I feel like that's wrong. Like, if you want to behead someone with the fan, out is the way that you want to swing. This is way stronger than this direction. Like, this is actually a weaker motion than this motion. In fact, some people have actually said that's why sometimes ninjas would hold the blade down like this, because this motion tends to be stronger than this motion. Like this motion you can actually get more force into than this motion. And so that's why you have a lot of the people who use the underhanded, you know, swipes like that, like Ahsoka Tano, for example. It's not one of the sacred treasures. I mean, it is by Kwamba, so, you know, it's still cool. And like I said, it was from EVO, like 2015 or something like that. They were giving these away, and I made sure to grab one, and I've been using it ever since. I've had it like a couple times. I use it here and there. I brought it up as a prop for my reveals and stuff like that, but then it's just been super useful to me up here. So, was it 2014 Gin and Tonics? Are you pretty sure it was 2014? Brother, I'm learning how to tune pianos because I can't justify paying a tuner. Dude, everything is so expensive these days, dude. It's crazy. So another thing that I'm doing is I'm starting a Ko-Fi account, KO-FI. So, you know, obviously I am, and thank you guys for getting the level 4 hype train. Appreciate you guys. It was a while ago looking at today's date, yeah. So I am obviously asking for a lot of support from you guys, but that's because it's brutal right now, so subs and everything. But I'm gonna create a Ko-Fi account, and that is specifically gonna go towards the pet insurance that I'm paying on a monthly basis right now, because obviously Jasmine's health scare earlier, you know, just made me be like, whatever, sign up for healthcare pet insurance, and that thing is expensive. So you know, the Ko-Fi will be geared to that. I'll create a Discord channel that's tied to the Ko-Fi account, and if you are a supporter there, I'll just be posting like exclusive cat pictures and videos there. I think it's supposed to be coffee, El Zilcho. I just know that there's a site, Buy Me a Coffee, and then there's the coffee.com, and I hate that makes it sound like they're the same thing, so I call it Ko-Fi, even though it's probably not pronounced that way, but I pronounce it that way just to distinguish it, kind of things like that. I did see that, Afifrak man. Yeah, I did see that whole Evo thing and being bought by Kadia. I mean, it's a weird situation, but since it happened today, I haven't really formulated like proper thoughts on it and stuff, so I'm just going to leave it for now. I don't want to talk about it yet. I almost kind of want to like talk to more people and find out more information and stuff like that. So, but yeah, what is it? I've been streaming for 40 minutes now. So, let's go ahead and get on to the main topics over here. So, let's do a formal intro, all that stuff like that. Despite the fact that usually when we edit these, I think we kill we kill a lot of the intro stuff because it just doesn't work on YouTube very well, right? So, hey, thank you, Izzy F3 for the follow. Appreciate that. Appreciate you very much. Just want to check some stuff here. Okay, and sorry about all the sniffling. Someone asked me if I'm under the weather. I don't feel under the weather. I have all my energy. I have all my appetite. I have no other symptoms. So I'm assuming it might just be the allergy or the humidity or the heat or something is just messing me up. So, social alerts? What do you mean social alerts? I have, oh yeah. I've turned on the social alerts specifically for one very, very important reason. And that is because if you actually look on your Twitch, if you look at the chat at the very bottom, there's something that you can redeem now with channel points for only 10 points, and it's called Switch the Monitor. And if you redeem that,
James, switch the cameras.
And that's all it does. That's all it does. But that's because a lot of times when I'm doing these, you know, going back and forth and showing this in the game and coming over here and watching this, I forget to change the cameras. And so, yeah, exactly. Now, obviously, if people start abusing it, I'll have to up the points or make it limited to only a certain number of times. But I have this right now so that if I forget to switch the cameras, you could do that. And I hear that on my end, so I'll be like,
switch the cameras.
all right. Oh, Jesus Christ, you're right. I did not post to the stream. I haven't even done it to Twitter yet, have I? I haven't done any of that stuff. Holy crap. I completely forgot to post all that stuff. Good call. Oh boy, I need to figure out a good process for this. Let's see, where am I? This is not the right place. I want to go over here. I want to grab this thing right here. I can do this. Hi, Nathan. Oh. Cats are very hot. They have a very high body temperature. So sometimes on hot days like this, it's hard to cuddle cats. Okay. Oops, sorry, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. You are rubbing your head on my hand again. And you just ate, so it's not because you're hungry. It's because you are actually being very, very affectionate right now. You are being a good kitty. You are being affectionate, kitty. Oh, hi. Hi. Oh, you're rubbing your head on the microphone like you always do, huh? Hi. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Hi. Oh, oh, there it is. Oh, it's knocking my mouse over. Help. Oh, man. What a good boy. Good boy. Oh, this is the wrong, that's why I couldn't find it. It's the wrong folder. There we go. Hi. Hi, Nathan. You have already shared my PSA about not shaving cats to cool them to potentially prevent a bad decision. Yep, that is a true fact for cats and dogs. If you are in very, very hot weather and your dog has all this dog hair on and everything, and you're like, oh, he must be burning up. Let me shave the hair to cool him down. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Because that is exactly the opposite effect. If you actually check the temperature of dogs and cats, the very edge of their furs get the hottest, but because their fur is so thick, they cool down in the middle because that fur kind of acts like an insulation for them. And if you cut that hair off, in fact, your dog, especially dogs, will be more hot than if you left them with their fur on. So that is an important thing. So, I mean, I should just start posting my cats more often on my social media in general. So, let's see here. Let's see. Copy link, go to Discord, go to my place over here, upcoming streams, at here, paste, and then I want to put the socials here, but Discord doesn't want to work properly. I don't know why. So we've got that over here, so we've got that starting. All right, so I have that over here. Oh boy. And then I want to take this tweet and I want to post it to Blue Sky. Let's do this. New post. Paste over here, but I can put the stream links right here directly. Ooh, I just got in there. Nice. Okay. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Hey, Echo Panther, thank you for following the channel here. I'm sure you did it because of this guy here, not because of me. This guy is clearly better reason to follow than me. I would pick you up and cuddle you, but like I said, you feel like a giant heater walking. Oh my God, there's so much cat hair. Holy crap, it's so warm up here. He's just shedding like crazy here. Oh my God. If you guys are protected by your fur when it gets hot like this, why would you shed? Why would you shed more like this, Nathan? Come on. That's antithetical to what we know about having to take care of pets. If you want to visit country for vacation, which would you want to visit? Japan right now. I would love to go to China, because I've never been to China, but right now, I mean, like, if I want to go to a place that I know that I like and enjoy that I just haven't been to in a long time, like, it's just Japan, like, free, basically, at that point. But I do want to go to China because I haven't been to China ever, so. Well, thank you for the follow for both of us. We're not just a dynamic duo. We are a terrific trio. Just Jasmine is over there chilling on my gamer chair way over there. My Bud Light gamer chair that I really need to get rid of, and it's just been taking up space all the time, but Jasmine likes it, so it's there. Oh yeah, so I mean, the crazy thing is, like, I know the China FGC apparently loves me. I said this last week, and somebody even in the YouTube comments were like, "Can confirm China loves you." come visit. And I'm like, yes, I want to, but I haven't had a chance to do so. But I'm surprised I haven't been able to get flown out to a China tournament yet. Someday, maybe, hopefully, one of these days I can get out there because, like I said, I would really, really, really love to visit China. Zen4, I'm sure it's just like anywhere else where the arcades are basically just dying out, mostly, because, again, you can basically, you're better off playing at home these days, right? Your experience at home is much better than at the arcades. Now, there might be certain neighborhoods where the arcades still exist because obviously getting a PC or getting a console is just friggin' expensive, so you just do the arcades. Do I keep up with speaking my Mandarin? Not directly, but I mean, every time I see my parents, so like I said, I was just there 2 days ago. No, yesterday. I was just there yesterday. And I speak Chinese to them all the time. And when I was in Saudi Arabia, I ran into one of the Chinese FGC commentators out there. And I started speaking to him in some Chinese. He could speak some English, so we were doing the half-half, back and forth between the two languages kind of discussion. And he said my Chinese was actually really good. And I was like, wow, okay, thank you. Because I don't think my Chinese is great. But my Chinese, like, obviously I have an English accent when I pronounce Chinese, although it's still better than most. But also, I just don't have a good vocabulary of Chinese. And if you speak very quickly and use a lot of words that I don't know, I'm not going to understand it, right? So I need clear Mandarin spoken to me. But I know more Mandarin to have a very low-level conversation than most people would imagine, because I am ABC. Oh, you did get an invite, Winter Soldier. Nice. Good shit. Good stuff. Oh, dang. Okay, maybe they're like, this is a real Marvel fan. And actually gave you Winter Soldier deserves it. Oh, man. Wish I got one, because I think the game is... let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, all right? So I've been streaming for about an hour. Let's do an official thing here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. All right. Let's do this officially here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to It Was Tuesday with your host, James Chen, aka Jay Chenzor. We're going to be talking all about Marvel Tokon today because I've been wanting to talk about it since EVO. I haven't had a chance, and a lot of people have been putting out really good content for it. And so I kind of wanted to go over a lot of that content and talk about it. But before we get started, I kind of wanted to address some of my thoughts on the game as I experienced it at EVO. Because going into EVO, a lot of people really kind of didn't know what to expect about it. You know, it was new, we hadn't seen a lot of footage. A lot of the footage that we've seen hasn't been particularly detailed. They released a beginner's guide that made the game strike very, very simple, honestly. And so, like, I had a lot of concerns. I really went into EVO thinking that, you know, it was gonna be like I had said that it kind of looked like a mobile game to me, and I didn't mean by look as in graphics, which everyone started yelling at me about. No, it doesn't look like a mobile game, but it felt like a mobile game based off of a lot of the stuff we saw, you know, like the light button, there's auto combos on lights, there's auto combos on medium and heavy, and the way that you switch characters, you know, the active tag has that little, you know, the little energy ball go over, so it's very clear when someone actually changes characters, and, you know, there was just a lot of things about the game that when I initially saw, I had a lot of concerns that the game was going to be very, very simple. And so I thought it was going to be like a mobile-friendly combo, right? Yeah, I was only using auto combos because honestly, there wasn't enough time for us to experiment with the game. And this is kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about. So a lot of people using auto combos at Evo and stuff, including myself. So like all the footage of me playing the game that my producer actually got is mostly just me mashing away at like single buttons and doing auto combos and stuff. I really didn't have a chance to explore it through a lot of depth. But the interesting thing about it is that, you know, going into the game, people were saying it looks like Grand Bluish. It looks maybe not Grand Bluish, but more Dragon Ball Fighters ish. They were saying it looks like a mix between that and like Marvel, but like people were saying it doesn't, like it's not as crazy as Marvel and stuff. And so really the concern that I had with the game going into Evo was how much is there going to be to experiment with? Because one of the things that, you know, Dragon Ball Fighters turned me off was that I didn't feel like there was much you could do in the game. Nathan, stop rubbing your head on my keyboard. This is not a pillow. Nathan, the keyboard is not even comfortable. Like, it's not even soft. And yet you always just want to put your head on this keyboard. Like, you just want to put your head on this keyboard. Look at this. He loves putting his head on this keyboard. And so I have not yet actually brought in a fake keyboard because I want to get a subterfuge keyboard for him to put his head on to think he is, you know, trying to foil my ability to use the typing and stuff. But yeah, so auto combos were super good in fighters, and it felt like that was just kind of the thing. And so Dragon Ball, like, I didn't feel like the tech was going to be there. I didn't feel like a lot of crazy things that you can do were going to actually be possible in that game. Fortunately, we did start figuring out more things, mostly Final Showdown, by the way, Clayton. I know he's involved in a lot of drama, but I know this guy. He is super creative, and he's come up with a lot of crazy things. He used to come up with the craziest Guilty Gear combos back in the day. So I know, like, when I saw all the Dragon Ball Fighter stuff he was doing, like, he was the guy that was making me go, this game actually looks like it has some interesting combos. But regardless of that, it just didn't even feel like the tech was there. Like, I didn't feel like there was a lot of things that you could actually come up with and crazy stuff. Like, it was all going to be pretty straightforward, right? So that's kind of what I was afraid of going in to play Marvel Tokon at Evo. And I will say this, all my fears have been assuaged. Is that the right word that I'm thinking of? Assuaged? I'm pretty sure that's the right word. Because sometimes I forget and use the word in the opposite to make milder or less severe, eased. Yes, my fears have been assuaged. Like, there's the word enervate, like you feel like that's supposed to mean like you energize yourself. Enervate actually means that you drain yourself of energy, so it's easy to use that one incorrectly. But yes, my fears have been assuaged because, so I played it at first, and it was me and, again, my producer slash editor slash, you know, guy who's been helping me a lot with my channel. Shout outs to Peter. We were just playing, and we were just kind of mashing around, and we didn't have a lot of time to, like, study the game and everything like that. So we played it, and I was like, hey, this game feels good. Like, I see some potential here, and I was trying to figure out how some of the systems work, and I'll get into that in a little bit later. But I came out of the booth and we were all talking about it, like, oh, this, yeah, it's cool. Like, I enjoyed this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Lo and behold, Chris G comes walking up. And, you know, the representative at the ArcSys booth was like, hey, Chris, you want to play? He's like, blah, blah, blah. You want to play on a system with stick or pad? And Chris was like, oh, stick for sure. He's like, okay, do you have any to play with? And Chris was like, I don't know. And I was like, I'll do it. Okay, I'll play with Chris. So I volunteered myself to go back to the booth. And so I was also able to show Chris like some of the basic stuff too. I was like, so this is how this works. This is what I figured out, et cetera, et cetera. And then, I mean, Chris G is just Chris G, okay? So like the way he sees games is very differently. And the stuff that he was starting to figure out, the stuff that he would be like, wait, let's try this, do this. And we were experimenting a little bit. And thankfully, shout outs to the ArcSys team, because they definitely let both sessions that I had on with Peter and then with Chris, we had extended periods. Most people were only able to play for like 10 minutes. They gave us like 20 minutes each block or something like that, because I'm an influencer. But the stuff that Chris was finding and that we were actually learning was like, oh. And we started finding out like some crazy things in that game. And then the footage that a lot of the influencers got of like high level matches, I watched Maximilian's video on that. And then I started seeing the stuff that they were doing in that. And then I was like, oh. And it turns out that this game is really, really complex. But the interesting thing about it is, well, Jane, hang on. Let's not jump right into that conversation right away. I haven't gotten there yet. The interesting thing about it was that, you know, so Max put out this video. Let me see if I can, I kind of wanted to go through this footage over here as well. He said, let me see, there it is. So Max had this little interesting video here where he asks the question, is Marvel Tokon beginner friendly, right? And so before we actually react to this, let's go ahead and jump into the, you know, my clickbaity-ish title here. But Jane on YouTube has actually said, no, Tokon will not be an MvC successor. It doesn't even want to play like a Marvel, with tag being restrictive and switch being to be a neutral. This will be an ArcSys game, that's it. So when I talk about a successor to Marvel, I'm not talking necessarily about the game mechanics. And this is tough, because I've been talking about fighting games a lot from this crazy, like, 1,000-foot angle. Look at this boy. From this 1,000-foot angle, where I'm not worried about the mechanics and how the game plays, right? This kind of goes in with the heart, body, mind thing that I've been going on. Like, two games can play very differently, but they're both heart games. Two games can play very differently, but they're both mind games. And so what I'm talking about as a successor to MvC isn't necessarily that I want it to be this crazy active tag and snapbacks and like all this craziness. What I'm talking about is it going to be the successor in the way that it's mechanically deep enough and chaotic enough and hype enough that it can satisfy that area? Because let's face it, Evo has not been the same without a Marvel game in the main lineup. All right? For the longest of time, MvC2 dominated Evo. It was always the last game. UMVC3 came out and it just kind of took over and it stayed in there. And ever since UMVC3 went away, we just haven't had the same thing. We've had Dragon Ball Fighters, but it's not a Marvel game. Like, it doesn't have that Marvel DNA kind of thing. And again, I don't mean by the gameplay. I just mean by just the overall vibes that it brings, you know, the kind of like dirty ass mix-ups, you know, kind of stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. And so that's why I had that trepidation going into EVO. I was worried that Marvel Tokon might not have that kind of feeling to it. But while I don't think the game is going to be dirty mix-ups the game, because they're clearly trying to prevent that, but there is some, like there's some stuff in this game that I've seen that, like, I'm just like, how is this, like, fair? You know, like, there's some really strong stuff. Yes. In terms of actually feeling like a Marvel game, Invincible Versus 100% feels the most like a Marvel game out of all of them, like you said, with Killer Instinct's combos. However, Marvel Tokon actually has a little bit of that Killer Instinct combo system in it, very similarly to Invincible, which is crazy because I was talking to the Invincible devs, and yeah, they both kind of came up with a very similar system. Obviously, the Invincible devs had Killer Instinct in their back pocket to use, but it seems like the Tokon guys just came up with their own system that is very similar, kind of on their own. So, is that the purple Sharpie in my chat? Oh my God, I am graced by the purple Sharpie in my chat. Is there I have not started talking about that yet, and I don't plan to talk about that today because I have not quite gathered my thoughts. Like, I saw it and I was like, huh. And so I don't want to have any sort of like, you know, snap judgment or any hot takes that I might just be like say, and then turns out everything I said was wrong. So I'm holding back on that conversation right now. So I'm trying to wait and see, and maybe potentially try to find out some more information. But yes, support FGC. And, you know, I'm talking about Marvel Tokon here. We're talking about, you know, being able to be a successor to the MvC games, not necessarily in terms of mechanics, but in terms of like the excitement, the hype, the money matches, or I'm sorry, the 1v1 winner take all tournaments, you know, et cetera, you know, that feels like what Skullgirls was trying to do. So I'm obligatory Skullgirls drop here, thanks to the purple Sharpie being in the chat over here. So, you know, Skullgirls was a lot like that. Obviously, it's indie status and just, you know, the unique IP of it. It is a hurdle, right? It is a hurdle to a lot of these games that you want to make, that you want to grow big. And Marvel Tokon has Marvel characters, and they're clearly very popular. So it's always going to have a better shot than a lot of other properties out there. Oh, Cigar Bob. Whoa, Cigar Bob in the chat. Whoa, blast from the past, Cigar Bob. Totally sidetracked here. Totally sidetrack here. Cigar Bob, very instrumental FGC member from the past. Still plays a lot on Fightcade today. Still very good at a lot of the old fighting games and stuff, but he was one of the people that actually built the first like home arcade cabinet thing. So he literally had the Cigar Bob cabinet that a lot of people would commission him to purchase and such. One of the things that Cigar Bob did for the arcade cabinets was that the panel, it was a two-player cabinet, and the panels you could actually Velcro off. I think it was Velcro. I don't know how you put it on there. It might have been more bolts and stuff like that, but you could take the panel off, detach it, and swap it with a different panel, right? So it was basically hot swappable joysticks and buttons. And this was very key because for the very first EVO in 2002, it was really the first time we were gonna try to play on, like it was the first time there was ever a top 8 Sunday at any fighting game tournament, and it was supposed to be played on stage. And unfortunately, fortunately, we had a few more Japanese players come out. That was Tokito's first Evo. He won CVS 2, right? And actually, was it the UCLA one that you first did that, Cigar Bob, or was it later? Because now that I think about it, no, Evo 2002, we had head-to-head setups for Japanese, Japanese-American, and American. Oh, okay. So it was 2005 in Vegas. So what Cigar Bob actually did here was that, so he has a Imgur picture over here, ready for us right here. So if I go over here, so this is the Cigar Bob cabinet over here. Am I allowed to do this? Yeah, there we go. So this is the Cigar Bob cabinet over here. And you can see the little splice down the middle. That's where you can actually take the panels off. And the reason why this was so important and so significant was because, it was really hard, especially we wanted them to play on stages. We had moved to consoles. Look, have we moved it? So here's the thing. I need to get my timeline straight. Because 2005, we moved to consoles, but I think some of the games were still played on the arcade cabinet. The whole point being was that we had separate panels with American controls and a panel for Japanese controls, and we could hot swap them based off of who was playing. we could hot swap them based off of who was playing, which was really useful at the time to accommodate American players and Japanese players at the same time. So that was really, really cool. And Cigar Bob, like I said, was the guy who kind of created that at that point. So hell, we didn't even have access to Japanese parts till 2004. Yeah, Himura Gaming started to sell them in group buys. So yeah, again, I wanted to do a whole stream on joystick history, which would be really fascinating actually. But we played on perfect 360s, on octo gates with the back tops and the concave buttons and everything. It was a disaster. I mean, we got used to that, but even though, obviously we've all moved to Japanese parts and everything like that, and so it's like, well, we kind of just moved. No, it's the right choice. The Japanese controls are way better for fighting games than what we were using back in the days. Man. Man, yeah, when we started going with convex buttons, it was like, what? Because our buttons used to be shaped like this, so your finger would fit in the curve. So you would press the button and it would actually work really well. But it was terrible for fighting games because it just meant that it was harder to press the buttons when you actually wanted to press the buttons. Convex was like, you hit the button and it's going down. So, so just in case you guys don't know, Cigar Bob, thank you for jumping in the chat. Definitely like talking about a little bit of fighting game history, and Cigar Bob definitely had a lot of, MvC2 mashing on convex. That's because the edges are a little bit sharper on the so the concaves, the American buttons were rounded a little bit at the tops like this. They were a little more rounded, so when you did the washboard method, it wasn't as bad, but the convex buttons kind of have that lip, that edge, and so when you actually did the washboard method without a glove, yeah, it could definitely hurt. I was at Evo this year. Yeah, I did commentary mostly for CVS 2. But yeah, so again, Cigar Bobby here just made me think of that. If you're editing this, let's not turn this into a segment. Sorry, I'm just talking to my editor right now. Like I said, I want to do a formal stream, so we'll do a whole formal joystick stream at some point because I would love to talk about the history of joysticks. I keep wanting to, and I keep forgetting because my brain sucks. But yeah, we'll definitely talk a lot more about that one of these days because the history of what we've gone through for joysticks in America is fascinating, and it is way more tumultuous than you would like to think it is. The way joysticks worked in America, like, affected a lot of tournaments and stuff. Like, it's crazy. There's so much more to it than you could possibly imagine. In any case, back to Marvel Tokon. I'm sorry. Well, not sorry, because Cigar Bob jumped in here, and I love to talk about this kind of stuff. But let's get back to the Tokon. So that's what I mean by successor to Marvel versus Capcom. Not necessarily that it's going to play the same way, because here's the truth. Marvel Tokon doesn't play like any of the games that we've compared them to. It doesn't play like Dragon Ball. It doesn't play like MvC. It doesn't play like Guilty Gear Strive. It doesn't play like any of those games. It's really, really unique. And they've really created this game from the ground up. And it's really fascinating because, yeah, those first videos made it look very simple, but the game is clearly more complex than I gave it credit for. It actually turned out the game has a lot of depth to it. But, and again, I could tell this from what Daisuke was doing with Strive. So now I'm not sure if it was a Daisuke mandate or an ArcSys mandate, but Strive did a lot of things to attempt to make the game a lot more casual friendly in terms of not just playing, but viewing and stuff like that. And so they tried to come up with a lot of very interesting ideas. Whether that succeeded as a positive or a negative will depend on who you are, because a lot of people don't like the way Strive turned out. But I'm not even necessarily talking mechanically, because if you remember, early on, they had the burst gauge like tied to your risk meter, like it would slide, or was the burst gauge tied to the health? I can't remember. It was tied to one of the gauges, and it was like awful, right? But you could tell what they were trying to do was make it so that there's only one place you need to look for information, as opposed to having to be like, oh my gosh, I gotta look up here, now I gotta look over here, now I gotta, they were trying their best to put all the information you needed to see in one place. The combo meter growing big, was a way to kind of emphasize that. The counter message, where a lot of people made fun of that at first, I actually really liked the counter message, because I think that kind of emphasized things and it really added to the drama of a match. Again, when you're making an esports game, presentation is super important. And so, Strive was trying to do a lot of stuff. They know corner was annoying, so they created the wall break system, which ended up, by the way, failing to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, because as the game continued forward, most characters had safe jumps after the wall break, and so essentially some characters could just block string you all the way back into the corner after a wall break anyway, etc. It didn't quite accomplish what it was trying to accomplish. That could very well happen with Marvel Tokon, but they are doing something really, really interesting with this game. And so let's watch Max's video here, because Max is talking about if this game is beginner friendly, and he brings up a lot of very interesting points, but I think there's a lot of things that I want to add on to, because there's a lot more to be said about this. So let's watch this from Maximilian. Shoutouts, of course. I would tell you to go and make sure you subscribe to Maximilian, but I don't know how you would be in my chat and not already subscribed to Maximilian, or at least following his YouTube. Obviously, Maximilian is one of the most popular content creators in the FGC, creates wonderful content, and just has a great crew and staff, etc., etc. So if you haven't followed him, why not? So anyways, here we go.
How hard do you think this will be for a casual or a person with little fighting game experience to pick up? Tokon is going to be a wonderful game if you have little fighting game experience. It's going to be wonderful because you don't have to engage with the game's team mechanics. They're specifically designing it that way. You do not have to learn multiple characters.
Yes, there is an echo because it's going into my microphone. All right. I'm going to attempt something very difficult here. Okay.
You do not have to ever tag if you want. Like, that's just allowed. There's unique auto combo animations on light buttons, on medium buttons, and heavy buttons. So if you just like literally smash your face against the controller, you're seeing cool supers and cool things happen, which is actually, like, I think very good. It's taken us some time to get used to it in the first hour, but that will be very good. You'll see yourself
in the first hour. Somebody had an hour to play it. Okay.
doing very neat things. Every single person was doing super cool combos at Evo because just pressing stuff makes really neat stuff happen. That's smart. However, what if I told you that those things are not the thing that inherently will be the great benefit to new players? What if I told you that that stuff's neat, and I think it should be in most games?
So I don't remember if he talks about this a little bit, but I want to expand on that a little bit there. Not only, like, a lot of that stuff is actually detrimental to you. So, like, we were all using auto combos early on, and I'm going to go over this a little bit later, going over another person's content. Gimmer put out a great video just recently about how the combo system works in Marvel Tokon. But a lot of times doing those auto combos is actually detrimental to your combos. But if you're a beginner player and you're just smashing buttons, again, the light ones lead to, like, if you do the light ones next to the wall, you get the wall breaks. If you do the medium ones, you end with supers, etc., etc. For beginners, this is going to be a very, very friendly game, but they have figured out a way to make it so that these things are actually not strong. Like, they're actually weaker. Like, a lot of times when people try to make weaker things, they fail. The premier example being Street Fighter Alpha 1 Easy Mode. Basically, easy mode had an auto block. It would make you auto block. It had like 12 auto blocks or something like that, or 10 auto blocks or something. So if you weren't blocking and the enemy hit you, you would just block. You could only build up to level 1 super, so you were missing all your supers. And then, but to activate the super, you just hit 2 buttons of the same strength. And, you know, they were just trying to make it like it wasn't good. Like, you know, you have no level 3s, etc., blah, blah, blah. Mike Watson ended up beating everybody at a tournament with Auto Block Ken. Because Auto Block Ken was so messed up. He was so messed up. And it was just by chance that Ken was broken with that because of the way his level 1 Shinryuken worked. And, basically, on hit, it would hit a few times and then run out of hits because the juggle potential ran out. But on block, like, the Shinryuken could hit like a billion times, but when you hit somebody, it would run out of the juggle potential and just start missing. On block, however, you would actually hit every single hit possible, and the level 1 didn't go all the way up into the sky. It just kind of went whoop, like barely up. And if you mash fast enough, you would actually stay and chip them the entire time, and then land, and you'd be safe, and you would do just as much damage on chip as you did on block. So basically, he would just hold forward on the controller, try to do Ken roll pressure, and if you ever interrupted him before he actually got stuff going, he would auto block, and then whenever he got a meter, he would just, whenever you were close, he would just mash the buttons for the super, and then if he hit you, cool. If you blocked it, cool. It was so broken. It was so broken. Oh, it was hilarious. But what they've done here in Tokon, like I said, I feel like they're doing a good job here so far. And like I said, we'll cover that in the combo system at some point in time when we get to there. Hey, thank you, Aaronim. Thank you. Thank you. Aaronim says, hello, have a nice stream. Jason Pye says, hey man, been watching you since SF4 days. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very, very much. So, and it looks like Cigar Bob, he's had that personal experience going up against Mike Watson's easy mode Ken. It's not fun. Oh my God, it's not fun. All right, back to this video here.
Could be crappy auto combos in games. I don't mean crappy as in I hate them. I mean crappy as in they're not good. I love games to have crappy auto combos. I think Street Fighter 6 does it wonderfully, man. Where they like nerf the hell out of the combo. Like you lose like 15 to 20% damage or something. Big flashy things, but you always are going to do the same thing. And it leaves you thinking, I wonder what other things I can do. I love that. I love it. I hate it when they're good. I hate it when they're optimal or optimized like Dragon Ball Fighters. But even having all of these auto combo things isn't the greatest benefit to new players. You know what is? Having other new players to play. All this stuff is nice and it gives like a party vibe aspect.
Someone has said it, and I think it was like Nutacon or might have even been Matthew Mengi Art. Someone actually said to me one time, the best beginner-friendly mechanic is good netcode. Because it's so true. How many fighting games have, oh, thank you for the sub, Cigar Bob, appreciate it. But how many fighting games have just been KO'd instantly by bad netcode? Either poor matchmaking, bad netcode, etc., etc. Like, that is the fastest thing to kill a game. If you have good netcode, what that does is it creates a larger player base because they can play it more. And then when they all play it, you get a lot more people to play that are at your level. That's so important. And the Marvel IP is gonna bring in a lot of people, and people are gonna have fun smashing buttons in this game. I mean, so I was playing Peter, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm just hitting buttons. I'm just hitting buttons. And like, I was having trouble beating him at first, right? And like, that's important. But the thing about it is like, the more I played, I was like, okay, oh, I see, I can do this. Oh, I see what's happening here. And he was doing a lot of cool, tricky, like little high-low mix-ups with a Star-Lord. So obviously he's not a fighting game newbie, but you know, was just doing lots of like auto combos and stuff. And like, I could tell that the more I played, like I was, okay, like at first I was like just getting destroyed because I didn't know what was happening. And then once I started figuring things out, I was able to fight it, and I was like, okay, this is cool. So like, yeah, like Max says, you have this growth potential. There is this ability to move beyond the easy stuff. And this game supports that in a lot of ways, and we'll get that in just a little bit. But yeah, DNF Duel. Well, DNF Duel's netcode and matchmaking was okay. DNF Duel got kiboshed by lack of developer support. The lack of verbal developer support. Nobody knew if there was any DLC coming at all. And also Swiftmaster ruined that game right away. But DBFZ, DNF Duel. Yeah, when the pandemic happened, all the games with the bad netcode, Under Night got smashed too by that because they had released, before they actually came out with CLR, I forgot which one was before that one, or if it was CLR, God, I can't keep track of the versions of that game anymore. But yeah, all those games got kiboshed by bad netcode. King of Fighters 15, great netcode, terrible matchmaking, got destroyed. The one thing that I don't see enough people give credit enough for is that Street Fighter 6 netcode matchmaking came out the box working perfectly and has never stopped. Knock on wood. Like, it's crazy because nobody talks about it because it was so good, right? Like, that's just how it is. Like, you know it's good when nobody talks about it. And that's how me and David back in the days of NeoGAF, after a tournament was done, we'd always check the FGC thread in NeoGAF, and if no one mentioned us, we were like, yeah, we did a good job, because anytime people talked about us in NeoGAF, it was because they were mad at our commentary. Launch days servers were not down, I don't believe. I remember the first day I was playing it right away. Maybe it was in some places, I'm not sure. Water, it's not milk, it's water. But anyways, let's continue forward here.
We get to see cool things happen. A nice little healthy in-between where we can find something that doesn't just poison the game, which kind of is what happened to Dragon Ball FighterZ, but also lets people just have fun. I think every single person that picks up a game should be able just to mash buttons and see cool stuff happen. I think that should be allowed. But
and you know what the interesting thing about that is? That's what made games like Tekken very casual friendly. The reason why Tekken succeeded as a high seller, even back on the PlayStation days, is because pressing buttons let you do stuff. Because what happens in Tekken that doesn't happen in most Street Fighter games or 2D fighting games? When you mash buttons, your character moves forward. Like, it's such a small thing, but that's a huge part of it. It's like if I actually hit 1-1-1 in Tekken, my character goes 1 and he moves forward, 1 and he moves forward, and, you know, punch, punch, punch. Like, he actually moves forward. But if I mash jab in Street Fighter, I just go and my character doesn't go anywhere. Like, the fact that the moves actually make you move forward in Tekken, and then you just start using different combinations, and there was the 10 strings that you would learn just so you could try to beat people up with the 10 strings. Like, the fact that the game actually made it so that your characters moved when you actually did the moves is what made that so much more casual friendly. So, to Max's point, yes, when you press buttons and your character does cool stuff, that appeals. Oh, man. All right, see ya, Cigar. Okay, I'll talk to Choi. I'll talk to Choi for sure. All right, let's keep going over here. Thank you for the sub, by the way. Appreciate you. I'm looking at the other camera, even though this is the one that's live. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
But again, it shouldn't be good. If you're getting into this, you're gonna see cool stuff happen. The greatest benefit to all new players is that other people will have no idea what they're doing with Tokon, and they're just going to be playing it for the first time, doing the same shit against everybody else, and you will have a chance to win. Trust me, dude, if you came back like a year later and there wasn't nearly as many people or something for a game, and the only way you can play it and matchmake is to find people that have been playing, I guarantee you they're not using the auto combos anymore. They know exactly how to counter all the new player auto combos that are in the game, and you'll never get to play. Every game is like that, dude. Like, literally every game is like that. So how do you avoid that as a casual player? Is this game going to be new player friendly? It absolutely is. In the first 3 months are going to be greatly beneficial for new players. Gonna be complaining later on that you waited for the price to go down, then you actively are admitting and you know that you're gonna be good enough to keep up with the people that have been playing for years. What game out there do you know of that gives you a chance? What game in general against people that have been playing for years?
So, one thing to emphasize here is that he's right, but kind of wrong in a way. And again, Max, I'm not trying to talk smack to anybody. If I said this, Max would be like, you're right, you know, because like the key thing is, like I said, the player base is important. Street Fighter 6 has been out for over 2 years now. No, the beginners are not going to be able to beat, like, a person in Bronze is not going to beat somebody in Diamond, is not going to beat somebody in Master. It's just not going to happen. But the thing about it is, you have a player base and you consistently have new players joining, you don't have to worry about that. The problem with a lot of the fighting games that we play is that the player base goes away. And so when you do jump online, like, I'm new to this game, and then you get paired with, like, Punk, and you're like, what the heck is happening here? And you just get destroyed because the matchmaking service has got to put you with somebody. They don't want you to sit there forever, so they try to find somebody that you can match with, and so you get the big giant disparity in skill levels. If the game continues to be fun and continues to be enjoyable and continues to bring more people and continues to maintain its player base, even right now in Street Fighter 6, if you jump onto Street Fighter 6 right now and start playing, there are a lot of people in Bronze and Silver and Gold to fight against. You don't have to worry about getting paired up with you know, Buster McTryhard, right? Like, you don't have to worry about getting paired with them because you've got a lot of other newbie players to run into as well. And so, you know, that's why it's really, really important to try to make that player base, and why it's important to make sure the game is fun at a very, very low level. So, to match your skill level in Battle Hub? How do they do that? Because Battle Hub, you just walk up to a cabinet and play, right? Yeah, KI could have that ability as well because it's free to play, so a lot of people will, you know, ended up getting in there. So, yeah, Richie Narf, sorry, I didn't see your comment there, but yeah, that's basically what I was saying, right? So, yeah, as long as you have the influx of players, but the problem with it is that literally there are 3 games that you can probably say that exists, right? It's Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter. But outside of that, every other fighting game, you're just gonna run into Buster McTryhard instantaneously because the player base is too small. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Oh, mwah. So if you can get a constant flow of players, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but like the first World Warrior event for Japan, the online tournament, is 2,000 people. Like, they're doing something right with Street Fighter 6 in Japan. Let me tell you, man. Oh my God.
You're supposed to get smashed, dude. You're not going to want to jump into some crazy high rank in league or whatever game and expect to do good. That is not the way it works for anything. So again, the greatest benefit for a new player to a fighting game isn't just these auto combos, isn't the fact that the game's like mash friendly, isn't the fact that it looks pretty, all this stuff. That's all great. Your greatest benefit as a new player is to find other people that are learning just like you, and you're able to learn with them. Win a match here, maybe look at what happened, then lose a match and understand why you lost that, and then win a match and lose.
So yeah, so he's going into that. So I think he was just talking about the negatives of not having the player base that you run into. I think he's basically saying the same thing that I am, that you run into Buster McTryhard and then that's it, and you're not having fun. But he's saying that the benefit here is that you will have other people at your level to play against. So actually, he is agreeing with us completely here. So
the match, and if there's like a nice little balance where, hey man, I didn't lose 99 games today, I won like 20 and I lost 80. Well, that's going to be like the nature for the majority of these games, because in those first few weeks, it's going to try to get the people that have like 60+% win ratios, where you're like winning out of 10 games, like you're winning 6, you know? That's pretty good. That means you're pretty good at a game. That wants to get those people the hell away from the people that are going like 1 in 10. So the people that are going 1 in 10 are going to go against other people that are also 1 in 10, and they could actually start balancing that out to the point where they start meeting new people that are good, you know, that are understanding a little bit more. Understand that
Nathan just walked on my spacebar and paused the video.
That every fighting game can be new player friendly, bro. Like literally every single one. All of these games are like super easy to play in the first week they're out. As long as you grow with the game and grow with the audience that's playing the game, you'll be good, dude. I know people that started playing Tekken 8. They're up there, bro. Like they're past purple ranks and shit like that, and they didn't play any Tekken before because they just kept playing. You know?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead a little bit here.
Jumping in and playing. And it's like it's important. Shit is fresh. Existing players that know how to play fighting. What's great is that everybody sucks in some way. I love that part of fighting games, man, because it's all about discovery, like anything else, and discovering things with everybody else in that period of time.
Yeah, the discovery part is important, but I kind of want to expand on this a little bit here too, because I don't. So the thing that I'm worried about here right now is I've been talking about a little bit how this game turns out to be a lot more complex, and it's like, oh my God, like I can't be Buster McTryhard, right? I can't do that. So I really want to play this game, but James, you're saying it's more complicated than it seems. Like, is it just gonna end up being like all the fighting games out there that, you know, I can't learn it, right? I can't learn it, right? So, the beautiful thing about Marvel Tokon, and I have talked about this before in the past as well, I've never had a chance to do my video which I've always wanted to do, but I want to like actually do like research and do all this stuff and really make it a good video, which is why I've never really sat down to do this. But I really do think that Smash Brothers is the most intelligently designed fighting game of all time. Like, I think it is the smartest, most intelligently created fighting game ever, because it just does so many things that are genius, right? And I'm not talking about a lot of the mechanics and stuff. Well, I guess it would be mechanics related, but I'll get into that into another in another video at one point in time. But the whole point is that what's interesting about the way that Marvel Tokon plays is that it is very, very storyline. It creates a narrative, and the reason why it does this is because of the way that it is a 4v4, and you're like, oh my god, 4v4, that's crazy. It starts 2v2, right? You start 2v2. You don't have any of the other assists. And what makes this fascinating is that the goal of trying to assemble your full team actually turns out to be really, really important. And they've done this through a lot of very intelligent design decisions in this game. So for one, getting your teammates isn't necessarily hard. You have to push them through the wall, so you can throw them through a wall, which obviously introduces and makes players think about throws. The light auto combos can knock them through the wall, some supers, some specials, knock people through the wall, and then you gain another member. And now you've got 3 people on your team, and then when you knock it through the wall, you finally get the 4th person on your team. One of the things that, you know, I figured out early on, messing with this game, is that if you actually look at footage of the game, let me see if I can find, yeah, okay, I'll just use another one of Maximilian's videos over here because I have this handy. If you actually look at this, look at the corners of the screen. This is very, very, very important here. Your point character is right here in the corner. So we got Doom right here, and Captain America is the point right here. And you notice that the characters that you have are in this diamond formation, like an upside down Evo logo. How funny, right? So you have this in this diamond formation. This is not just a design choice. This is very relevant to the gameplay, because when you start, you only have one. Let me see if I can find, okay. Ooh. Ads, can't be mad at ads. They support streamers and stuff. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. Okay, so here we go. So this is, oh god, did he get another guy already? So, okay, let's do this here. So, okay, yeah, so this is a good starting spot right here. You'll notice, which Chinatown video? I don't know which one you're talking about, Ignacio. But here's the thing. You have your character. You have your one character. So you always start with this forward person as your assist. The interesting thing about it is the position of this character determines what kind of assist they perform. Like literally the kind of assist that they perform is dependent on here. When you actually get your next teammate, you'll actually see that they end up in the bottom position over here. So now you have this bottom character over here. And then when you actually get all 3 characters, let's see, there we go. So when you actually get all 3 characters, you have all 4 of them here. Oh, why? Oh, is it because they called the assist over here? Yeah, there you go. Oh, I see. Yeah, they're calling the assist. That's why they're getting grayed out. I want to find a good shot where they're all there, but it's hard to find. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So what's interesting about this is that to activate these assists, it's forward assist, down an assist, and back an assist. And now you can see why they're organized in this diamond format, because this is forward assist, This is down assist, and this is back assist. Same thing here, forward assist, down assist, back assist. They've actually put them on those areas over there. Now, the interesting thing, oh right, she owns Starlight. I'll talk about that in a little bit. The interesting thing about this is that based on the position, they perform a very specific type of assist. So the forward assist will always be the help me get in. So Iron Man will shoot a beam. Captain America will throw his shield. So it's always gonna act as the help me get in. The down assist always ends up being an anti-air. So most characters have a DP in this game, and even if they don't have a DP, like I don't think Storm actually has a DP. Her DP motion actually is a command throw. But if she's the bottom assist, she still does an anti-air assist. So the assists are not based off necessarily off of stuff that they have, although most of the time they are, but like it's based on the position. The most interesting thing is that the back assists is where stuff starts getting kind of messed up. So when I was playing with Chris G, he found out that Iron Man's back assist, when he's in that back position, he just shoots all these missiles across the screen. And it's super good. It's super good as an assist. But remember, you have to build up to that, right? You have to get to that point. And so what's interesting about this game is that it kind of builds these sub-goals. And this is one of the things that I've always talked about that's missing from a lot of fighting games, is you don't have the sub-goals to fight for. And so by having it so that if I do light, I push you through the wall and I get another character, or if you're always blocking, I can throw you through the wall, you're basically giving beginner players goals. You're giving them steps to go. You're making it so that there is a storyline. There is a narrative for beginners to shoot for, right? And so this whole idea of trying to assemble your whole team, because there's other benefits to it as well, but also, like I said, the back assists tend to be the strongest assist, right? So it's really interesting how they kind of designed it that way. It's kind of how they designed it that way to make it so that when beginners play, they're like, oh, I'm supposed to build my whole team. And what's interesting is that Max, in that beginner video, or it was one of the other videos that I saw of his, he was talking about how, like, you basically never have to change your point character in this game because you have one life bar, right? You have one life bar, you have one super meter that they share between everybody. You don't have to switch your character if you don't ever want to. So in other words, if you like Dr. Doom, you could just play Dr. Doom the entire time. And the other people just end up being your assist. So as beginners, you don't have to learn 4 characters, right? You don't have to learn 4 characters. But if you want that good assist, you know that your whole goal is to try to get these wall breaks to be able to build your whole team. So Strive couldn't figure out a good reason why pushing them through the wall was a good thing, and that was kind of one of the things that hampered the wall break mechanic in Strive. But in this game, it's very important, and it's really, really, it gives you, like, it makes you feel cooler because you get all the characters, and then one of the auto combos makes it so all 4 of your guys come in and hit them one by one, and it's just awesome looking and stuff. So it gives players a goal, and it kind of guides people to this concept that a lot of other competitive games kind of do, where you start off weaker and you get stronger as you go, right? A lot of MOBAs are like that. You get more levels, you buy more power-ups, you gain, you know, you get these items that help make your character better. Fighting games have long been missing that kind of thing. So this thing will be really important for that. This will be really, really important for that. And so that's one of the things that's going to help make this game very beginner friendly. But interestingly enough, it gets so much more complex than that. Like I said, you don't have to change characters, but you should. And I'll get into that a little bit later on, you know, but like by creating these little sub-goals that aren't necessarily the path to winning, you help people learn games. I have been harping on this forever. I've been harping on it so much. This deserves a camera change. Like, literally, I've been talking about this forever. And every time I talk to anybody who's in the fighting game community about it, nobody gets it because they're so goddamn competitive. But you guys have heard me talk about this in a lot of these games, like first-person shooters or MOBAs. You have the ability to run away. You have the ability to just disengage and go, help, and run. And a lot of times when you get away from people, it feels great because you succeeded. You're like, I hid in the bush and he lost me. Or in CS, in a Counter-Strike game, they're shooting at me. I ran zigzag and I dodged them and they didn't kill me and I made it behind the crate. Yes, I am the best. Yes, in platform fighters, you can run away. Again, that's why Smash Brothers is one of the most genius designed fighting games. But like I said, I don't want to get too down that rabbit hole right now. But I was like, it's so important that you can run away. And back when the show had David and Tubo, they just got mad at me all the time. They're like, that's like, but that hurts you. Like, it doesn't help you, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's really bad, you know, like you're losing position or, you need to do. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's good or not. You as a player were like, shit, these guys are chasing me, and you escaped and you feel good about it. Sure, maybe in the FPS, that means you abandon a post that's really important, that everybody comes in and now all of a sudden kills everybody, or that, in League of Legends, I needed to be, maintain a position a little bit better, but I ran away like a coward and it hurts my team or whatever like that. But that doesn't matter. The player has a goal to go for that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win by achieving that goal, but it's still a goal. And so if you're playing Marvel Tokon and you're like, I need to assemble my team so I can do cool 4-character combos, like, in the end, that might not be what makes you win, but when you're playing against other friends who are not as good or just as, like, you're all not very good, you're gonna have a good time, you're gonna try to assemble a team, and you're gonna do cool shit, and it's fun. And just because it doesn't make you stronger competitively doesn't mean it's a bad thing to put in the game. This was all emphasized when Keats was on our stream and we were interviewing him and we were talking about Rumbleverse. And I kept saying, like, the way that I played Rumbleverse was I just ran away from everyone. I just disengaged. I didn't fight a lot. And I would always get to the end, but then I would die because I disengaged and I didn't get enough power-ups from beating up on other people and stuff like that. So yeah, it hurt me. So I was like, my problem is, like, I just run away all the time. And Keats literally on that stream was like, but the important thing is you can run away. That's an option. And that's important. And I was like, see? Gosh, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. And so, that's the kind of thing. Now, the problem with fighting games like this, you can't run away in fighting games. Literally, the screen won't zoom out far enough to let you run unless it's a platform fighter. So you can't make that one of those mini goals. So what can you make as a mini goal? Well, you do this, right? You make it so that you can actually build up your team, and it's cool and it's fun, and you get to see your favorite Marvel characters, and you don't even need to switch to them at any point in time. Again, you should. You absolutely should, but you don't have to, and that's so important. Again, making a game so that it's fun when not played optimally is really important. It's really, really important. Gotta say, finding out during Evo playtest that I could main one character and just use the others as an assist versus having to play them all as the pilot character like in MvC style games made me go from not interested at all to very hyped. Exactly. You said that as soon as I said it, because that's huge. It's an important point. And again, you'll play it that way for a very long time. And then one day you're going to be doing something and you'll be like, what if I tag here? Oh, cool. And then by yourself, you're learning things, the dopamine hits, what Max was talking about, the discovery is so important. You find out about this stuff yourself and you're like, oh shit, my world just changed. Oh my God. Like, holy crap, I can do this whole time I've been playing and doing these things. I could have done this whole time. That's really strong, bro. Like, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's how you get people into these games. That's how you get them into these games, you know? And thank you for Let's Go a Bit for following the channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. So that's the thing about the way that Marvel Tokon is designed. And again, the way that they designed the combo system is really fascinating too, because they've made the combo system fairly intuitive in a way that it really doesn't matter if you engage with the way the combo system works. Whoops. I should have this video up already. I thought I pulled it up. Sorry. Let me pull up this video here. So this is Gimmer's video that he just put out. So if you guys don't know Gimmer, he is a Smash Brothers, very important figure in the Smash Brothers scene. Used to stream a lot, used to do a lot of content and stuff. He's really interested in Marvel Tokon because he also used to be a feverish Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player. And so in Gimmer's lab over here, he starts talking about the way the combo mechanic works in Marvel Tokon. So he said in the video, he's like, go ahead and use this video for content. So I'm gonna do that. Thank you, Gimmer. As long as we credit him. And so for sure, make sure you follow Gimmer's lab over here, which is, let's go over here. Does he have a shortcut? Yes. So just @Gimmer. So youtube.com/@Gimmer. You can't see that, but it's at basically this, right? GIMR. So if you do @GMIR, you will go to his YouTube channel. And so he made this wonderful video here and broke down that. So again, I was just using auto combo, so I didn't really even notice a lot of this stuff. We talked about this a little bit earlier in Invincible, how they have a combo meter system, kind of like Killer Instinct does. Invincible has that, so that if the meter fills up too much, they automatically fall out the combo and stuff like that. Turns out that Marvel Tokon has this as well, but it's really, really interesting how it works. So, oh yeah, it is Dexter's Lab, you're right. But let's take a look at this video here, and I'm gonna let it play out largely on, because I can interrupt this like 7,000 times and expand on it, but let's try to save some time here. So
free to make content out of this video. All I ask is that you credit me.
Yeah, so there
if you're in the FGC, feel free to make content out of this video. All I ask is that you credit me. The thing I care about most is growing my FGC audience. Thanks.
What's up guys, Gimmer the video game scientist from VG Bootcamp here. Many people don't know this, but 15 years ago I played Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 competitively. Not only that, I even posted a bunch of tech videos, like how to one-shot Phoenix and my Super Scroll Infinite, which ended up getting added to the official strategy guide. Needless to say, when Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls was announced, I was hyped as hell. Anyways, ever since EVO, I've been tirelessly studying match footage. One of the things being most talked about is Marvel Tokon's unique combo limit system mechanic.
So see, I think that right there was the combo limit here.
There's literally a combo limit bar.
This is your combo meter.
Yeah, the combo limit goes up really fast if you do auto combos.
So I went through everything frame by frame until I figured out how it works. In this video, I'm going to explain how Marvel Tokon's new combo limit mechanic works, use that info to theorycraft how we can extend combos, and then go over some really cool combos that people are already doing to exploit this new system mechanic.
Ooh. Nah, that combo is gas.
Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to Maximilian, Justin Wong, and Shin Kenso. Their footage is what I study to figure things out, so go subscribe to them on YouTube as well. Let's get started.
James, switch the cameras. So here's one funny thing I'm gonna say. Obviously, from my point of view here, see, this is great. I love that thing. It works great. It's perfect. Anyways, so one interesting thing for me, obviously, I'm recommending you guys, please follow Gimmer. And now Gimmer is recommending you follow Maximilian, Justin Wong, and Shin Kenso as well. So we're doing a chain of please follow these people. So make sure you follow all these guys here because all of them great content creators out there. And yeah, this switch the monitor thing is the greatest thing, dude. I should have created this a long time ago. Anyways, here we go.
Many fighting games have a mechanic called hit stun scaling. Mid-combo, this basically makes hit stun lower over time, so you can't just loop things over and over continuously.
Online security is like one of the very highest priorities. With Spectrum, I don't.
Marvel Tokon has little to no hit stun deterioration.
So this is important because a lot of these games, they rely on hit stun deterioration to prevent infinites, right? A lot of games do this. And the thing about it is, while that makes sense to a lot of us who are used to it, it's just weird. Like, why did this combo work this time, but it didn't work that time? And like, it's intuitive enough that you're like, okay, the later in the combo it gets, I can't like do the crazy things that I used to be able to do. But then there's these weird exceptions that have like these knockdowns, etc. Like the force ground bounces. You can force ground bounce someone, but if you intercept them before they hit the ground, they reset the ground. Like, there's all these crazy rules. And one of the things Marvel Tokon is trying to do is eliminate those kind of crazy rules. So basically, Gimmer's going to talk about that. There is no hit stun deterioration. And I think that that's really important because it makes the game a lot more simple to actually learn combos and stuff like that. So, oh, hello, Making Mary. How you doing?
Instead, they have something called the combo limit. The basic idea behind the mechanic is once you reach 10 stacks, they'll go into a combo break animation. It's much deeper than that, but let's talk about hit stun first. The combo limit gauge sits
Hello, Cold Light Oracle.
right under the hit stun gauge. The hit stun gauge is an orange bar that tells you when your opponent's hit stun is about to run out after each hit. Once it moves all the way to the left and hits 0, the opponent has the option of air teching.
And again, this is a feature that has existed in many games already, in particular a lot of ArcSys games. I'm pretty sure Blaze Blue has it. I think Under Night has it. There's a couple of other games that have that as well. So that hit stun gauge thing is not new to Marvel Tokon, but in a lot of those other games, it had to factor in hit stun deterioration. So, it would start scrolling at different speeds, but in this one, it's going to be the same pretty much the entire time. So again, very convenient way to make combos a little bit easier.
Or they can just fall to the ground. As I said before, Tokon has very low or no hit stun scaling. I figured this out by overlapping the same move in different clips, and the hit stun bar pretty much always lines up no matter how far into a combo it is. So if there is hit stun scaling, it's pretty low. This means dropping a combo is dependent on the combo limit gauge. Or you just suck and you drop the combo yourself. Anyways, here's an in-depth look at the combo limit gauge. The combo limit has 3 phases: blue, dark orange, and full red. In order to start filling up the gauge, you have to hit your opponent with an attack. This gives it 1 stack. To be clear, 1 stack
S+ sound effect he chose, by the way.
equals 1 move. So if you hit your opponent with an attack that has multiple hits, it still only counts as 1 stack towards the combo limit gauge. This means the hits on the combo counter won't necessarily line up with your stacks on the combo limit bar. So phase 1 takes 7 stacks for it to reach phase 2. Phase 2, the bar turns dark orange and it takes 3 stacks to hit phase 3, which is full red. So 10 stacks total. And the next attack will cause a combo break, which leads to Oki.
So this is important here, right? So you just basically build up that combo meter, and once it gets full, the next hit ends the combo. And so this is really interesting that they've designed this here. And like I said, it's very similar to Killer Instinct, but it is a lot more natural, right? So like Killer Instinct, different moves could add different amounts to the combo meter and stuff like that. This one is like, it's hard to call it the combo meter because like, that's what I always called the combo counter. So I called that the combo meter. So I don't know what to call this thing here, the combo ender meter or the, you know, break meter. I don't know. Like, we'll have to figure this out. But yeah, this is really, really important in this situation. So to understand that your combos are limited this way. But as with all fight, and again, like I said, if you're playing and you're a beginner and you fight and you never tag and you never do anything, you just look at that gauge and you see it growing bigger and you know when your combo is about to end. So you're like, okay, let me do a super before it ends, whatever. It's very straightforward. But as with all fighting games, it gets a lot more complicated than that, but you don't have to know that. You don't have to worry about that. And as you continue to play, you might notice it and be like, wait, what? And then, again, same thing. Your world opens up. But you don't have to know it to play the game. And again, it's also, again, very intuitive why the combo ends. A lot of times in a lot of other fighting games, it's not intuitive why the combo ends because of hit stun deterioration, because you only get 2 wall bounces, because you know, there's all sorts of crazy, because of the crazy juggle system in Street Fighter, right? Oh, you know, that move actually raised the juggle counter from 3 to 5. The move you try to juggle with only has a juggle potential of 4, so it's not 5 great and it's not gonna hit. So, you know, like, how do you know that? Like, how are you supposed to figure that part out? Right? So again, like, this is very straightforward. You see that meter build up, you see it fold, you see it turn to red, that's the end of your combo. Oh boy, yeah, I've put out a great video about the juggle counter before, John the Automaton. So if you want to look for that, it's here. Let me just find it here on my own YouTube channel. Here, let's do this. Let's see. View my channel. Right here. So if you want to know how the juggle system works in Street Fighter, I got you covered on there. I got you covered on there. So let me link this to you. This is a great video, by the way. It's one of my favorite videos that I've ever made. But you can check this out. That'll explain to you exactly how the juggle system works in Street Fighter. And trust me, this was made during Street Fighter V, so it doesn't have a lot of Street Fighter 6 stuff, but Street Fighter 6 stuff largely obeys the same rules here. Okay, let's go back to this thing over here. Let's go continue to watch this.
Side note, Phase 1 and Phase 2 don't seem to be any different than each other in terms of function. I think it's just there to make it easier for you to understand what's happening on screen. So
it's something to react to. While you're doing the combo, as soon as orange pops up down there, you know you're reaching a tipping point of the combo ending. That's all it's for. That's all the color change is there for. So, I mean, the way that Gimmer describes it is correct. It's just there to let you know, but otherwise the meter doesn't behave any differently. But again, how I talked about how Strive was trying to do all these different things with presentation and stuff, the fact that they actually built this meter in 2 parts, so that it's 7 in the first and 3 in the second, and they actually split the meter. Like, there's no reason to have done any of that. But again, I approve of their decision to do that to make it that much more clear to the player what's happening, and also to the audience. And again, when you're designing fighting games these days, when you're designing anything that's gonna be played as an esport, make sure it's clear to the audience. Because a lot of people don't design games that way. They don't think about the people watching, and that has actually the downfall to a lot of competitive games. If you don't build your game in a way that it's understandable from a viewer standpoint, That's a problem. That's a problem.
You have a visual indicator to know that the combo limit is about to be reached. The combo break will wait for an attack to finish before initiating. So something like a single jab will initiate it, but for a multi-hit move, the game will wait for it to finish before initiating a combo break. There are other rules for the combo limit gauge. Applying these rules shrewdly is how you take full advantage of the combo system. First of all, assembly smash, grounded, or airborne, add only 1 stack, no matter how many of your assists hit the opponent. EX moves stack, no matter how many of your assists hit the opponent.
So again, building your whole team means that you get extra hits without increasing the amount of combo meter you build up. So again, building your team has an advantage. If you don't make getting all 4 of your characters a goal in your strategy, you're messing up, right? But again, like Itselka said, you don't have to play any of the other characters, but building the team is important. And so because of that, you'll get extra damage on the assembly combo like that. Because if you don't have your whole team, you only do a couple of them. But if you have the whole team, you do a lot more damage at no increase to, well, at no extra increase to the combo gauge. So again, another reason why it's important to build your team in this game.
Add only 1 stack, no matter how many of your assists hit the opponent. EX moves count 0 stacks.
So again, this is an important thing to learn. Now you know if you use EX moves, you can increase your combo without adding to the gauge. So like I said, what's interesting about this is that this combo gauge is not just a combo gauge. There's a lot of ways to manipulate this. Same thing with Invincible. I don't want to discredit that one because Invincible has the same thing, that the combo meter builds up quickly. But if you do active tags into your teammates and stuff like that, it actually like reduces the combo gauge and stuff. And we'll see that technique being utilized here as well.
The only exception is when someone's full red and you hit them with an EX move, then it'll cause a combo break. Super skills and ultimate skills also add 0 stacks. Lastly, and probably most importantly, assist attacks cause 0 stacks. Even if your opponent is full red, the assist will not break the combo.
By the way, shoutouts to Gimmer finding examples of like everything in this footage. Like all the footage that he's been able to watch, like he found like cases to show and illustrate. Shout out, this was not an easy video to make, honestly.
Which is incredibly useful. Here's a clip of Justin Wong getting hit by 2 assists and an EX move.
Because like how do you
And the combo limit gauge still stays at 0 stacks.
stop that shield?
Even more importantly though, if you call an assist mid-combo,
This is the important part.
removes 2 stacks from the currently though. If you call an assist mid-combo, it removes 2 stacks from the combo limit gauge.
So like I said, you can play this like just a point character, but as you continue to play, you start finding out that, yeah, your team is kind of important here. We'll get into this a little bit more. This is not covered in any video, but this is something that I will talk about in just a little bit here. One thing to note, though, someone else mentioned this, is that when you are in the middle of a combo and you call the assist, your assist will always do a generic combo extender. So it doesn't matter what position they're in. If you call them, they just do mid-combo assist. So you see Iron Man here just does this generic hit, but that's what everybody is going to do in the middle of a combo. Again, weirdly enough, Invincible and Tokon use a lot of similar things. Happens in Invincible too. Like if your enemy is in a block string and you call an assist, your assist so far is always an overhead. That may change, but it's always a unique attack that's an overhead to try to open people up. So that's a little interesting thing there. But yeah, the fact that calling an assist lowers the combo gauge. Now again, if you have all 3 of your teammates, I'm assuming that means that's 3 times you can erase 2 blocks from the combo gauge, right? I don't know if there's a limit. Like, I don't know if they make it so that you can only call 1 assist per combo or something like that. I don't think so. But if not, again, building your whole team so that you can constantly drain the meter by 2 blocks to do a longer combo is really important. So again, building your whole team is important. So again, even if you're a beginner and that's your little sub goal that you make for yourself, it's a good sub goal to learn.
Which allows you to extend your combo even further. As far as I can tell, the wall splat mechanic is the only other thing that removes 2 stacks from the combo limit gauge. There's one other universal attack that has a weird rule to it. I don't know if this input can be entered manually, but it happens during every auto combo.
There does really seem to be lots of combo meme mechanics to learn. Yeah, but again, you don't have to learn it, right? You don't have to learn it right away. And I think that's the thing that makes this so important, is that you can ignore that and enjoy this game at a very low level and just have a blast and have a good time. You don't even have to worry about it. But again, we talked about how a lot of the things that you'll use early on turn out not to be good. This section right here is going to cover a perfect example of that.
During every auto combo.
Medium route combo. Execute a heavy route combo during the link attack as well.
Every character has it. This attack does a lot of damage and puts the opponent in a spiral, allowing it to pretty much easily combo into anything. The most important thing about this move, though, is that it adds 5 stacks to the combo limit gauge. That's right, 5 stacks. A lot of people
I didn't do that.
testing the game at Evo said they felt like auto combo.
I couldn't find my mouse cursor for a second there. I was like, what the hell? Okay, hang on a second.
That's right, 5 stacks. A lot of people testing the game at Evo said they felt like auto combos were really strong, but I think it's obvious this specific mechanic was put in the game to make them much weaker since it obliterates the combo limit gauge. That's basically, as far as I can tell, how the combo limit works. There are probably some other things that we'll eventually see, but there were some oddities I wanted to go over because I'm not quite sure how they work.
I don't know. I didn't make it into the beta. I don't know what the rules are. I'm sure people can stream it this weekend. I'm pretty sure it's going to be allowed. I haven't seen anyone say otherwise, but don't quote me on that because I don't know. I really don't know. Look at the cat. Look at he is doing the rubbings. He is doing, oh, hi kitty. Hi kitty. Oh, look at you. Oh, mwah. What a good boy. What a good boy. Okay.
For example, if Captain America does his EX uppercut twice in one combo, it auto combo breaks. It doesn't even go full red. I don't know for sure, but I think it's because moves like Captain America's EX upper combo into an aerial, and then you can do EX upper again. This means you could technically do 6 EX uppers in a row, and it wouldn't break the combo limit gauge. So as of right now, I'm just assuming they put this in the game to auto-break situations like this. It could also be like some of the other Arc Sys games where you can't use the same move twice in a combo. In this case, EX move. Star-Lord's super skill, if it's on ice, freezes the opponent, but it automatically pushes it to full red so that whatever your next attack is will cause a combo break. Either that, or because he used the freeze mechanic once already earlier in the combo, the game just forces full red if you freeze the opponent twice. Another thing that happens sometimes is the combo limit gauge just starts blinking white. So far I've noticed it happens sometimes during supers, screen breaks, and when too many assist calls happen mid-combo. I really don't know what this means because as far as I can tell from all the footage I've looked at, it just happens and I haven't seen any repercussions from it. Again, this is one of those things that we're just gonna have to wait and see. Another interesting thing is that when you DHC, your teammate comes in and hits them once before doing their super, and this adds 1 stack to the combo limit gauge. In all the footage I've looked at, I haven't seen what happens if somebody's already full red and this hit happens. Does it break the combo right there and you're like super just whiffs? Or does the super just play out anyways? Or does it just not allow you to DHC in that situation? Okay, so now that we know how all of this works, what does this mean? This is just theorycraft, but I think all of this combined means the following. First of all, you want to avoid auto combos, so you don't get that move that adds 5 stacks to the combo limit gauge. 2, if you do an auto combo and that attack forces a full red, go into a special, an EX move, or a super. 3, try to implement EX moves into your combo wherever you can, since they do a lot of damage and they don't add stacks to the combo limit gauge. 4, find combo routes that include calling assists, since it subtracts 2 stacks from the combo limit gauge and allows you to extend the combos even further. And finally, if you're in the corner, figure out a way to implement wall splats into your combos, since they also remove 2 stacks from the combo limit gauge. Now, for actual combo routes, I have some ideas, but the devs actually put out some footage of them doing cool combos. To add.
Pets can definitely be cool, but then sometimes they can lean their head on the arrow keys and make videos jump a little too far forward.
0 stacks again. Here's the genius part. During the whirlwind, she does upward tempest to push them up. And it makes them from the combo limit. Then she does EX tornado from.
God, where was I?
Also remove 2 stacks from the combo limit gauge. Now, for actual combo routes, I have some ideas, but the devs actually put out some footage of them doing cool combos, so why don't we just go over them instead, because they're really cool. The Dr. Doom does an air combo and immediately calls an assist. Subtracting 2 stacks from the combo limit bar, resetting it to 0. Next, they combo into an EX electric cage, which adds no stacks, but does just enough hit stun that he can dash forward and continue the combo. He brings this to the air and does a knock to slam them into the ground. The next part is really smart. Doom is 1 hit away from going full red. So they call an assist not only to get the pickup, but also to subtract 2 stacks, allowing them to let the combo continue.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Nah, that combo is gas. If it's like, if you do it like that.
The only thing I would have done differently is maybe do the first 2 hits of the heavy auto combo first, and then cancel that into a skill for a forced combo break into Oki. If they had more meter, they could have comboed into an EX or a super skill as well.
So again, there's a lot of high-level stuff happening here, and this is really important. And again, what's beautiful about it is you don't have to pay attention to it, because if you're only doing auto combos, you're never gonna, it's never gonna break early, right? It's just not gonna break early, because you're gonna be starting with hit, adds 5, hit, auto combo ends, and you're done. You don't have to worry about it. When you're learning better combos, you don't have to worry about it, because if you just have a combo that you know just works, you can keep doing that. But once you start getting better, you're going to learn better combo routing to manipulate the combo gauge to extend your combos. And then once you get even to the next highest level, now you're going to have to improvise depending on random pickups and stuff. If you actually hit someone like stray and then you get to convert the combo, you're going to have to look at your own combo meter, and at that point in time, just be like, okay, I have similar routes that are here like this. I'll go this route because I know I can extend it this way and that way. And it's really cool because a lot of it is not necessary, right? This is stuff that you can learn on your own. This is true about all fighting games. Again, and one of the things I need to emphasize is that people oftentimes think that they have to optimize everything in fighting games right away. I always tell this story when I was learning Tekken and Tekken 7. I would land the hop knee with King and I would do my combo, and somebody's like, there's a more optimal combo that you can do that does more damage. And I was like, I know the combo, but I'm not super consistent with it. My execution's good. I'm sure I can become consistent with it, but I don't care right now. I want to learn how to play Tekken neutral. I want to learn how to play offense, defense, etc., etc. combo doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do a combo that works for me, and I could do more damage, and if I lose matches where I lost by a tiny bit, and I probably would have won if I did an optimal combo, oh well, I'm just playing online, I'm learning. Who cares, right? Who cares? Just learn the game. You don't have to be optimal. And thanks to the auto combos and stuff like this in this game, you can start off very simply. You don't have to go all crazy. You don't have to learn all this crazy stuff, and you can have fun and learn things as you go. But that's the most important thing. Learn it as you go. Learn it as you go. Don't inundate yourself with all this stuff. And again, this is why I hate fighting game tutorials, because they teach you everything about the game right away. And so every fighting game tutorial fails to teach you anything because they've just crammed you with 700 things, and you're like, wait, what was that thing about if I'm dying and then I activate this vorpal state and then I'm allowed to use my astral thrust, and that's it. Like, you don't know anything. And so don't try to learn everything right away. Just don't just don't actually try to learn everything right away. Dude, Josh, if you can still get me a code, dude, if you can still get me a code. And in fact, I mean, if you want, like, I'd be totally down to have you come over or whatever like that. We can hang out and we can do a lot of cool stuff here, because I would really like to learn this game, because this game is really, really cool. So, but oh man. What about Street Fighter 6 World Tour mode? Do you hate that? No. World Tour is great because they teach it to you in pieces. They teach it to you in pieces, and that's very, very important in my opinion. And I think that works really, really, really well. But the hardest part is that it teaches you in a context that's not necessarily in an actual match. So it's hard to correlate why you use it in a match and why you don't. That's the tricky part about it. But outside of that, it's still better than what a lot of the tutorial systems do in fighting games right now, because it's too much information. And when you're given all that information, you think you have to use all of it, right? You think you have to learn all this stuff. And like, when I first tried to learn Under Night in Birth, I just didn't care about the grid. I wasn't trying to win the grid battle to get into Vorpal state and all that stuff like that. I was like, that will come later. It's okay not to go crazy learning everything. And so I think Marvel Tokon is doing a great job kind of allowing that to happen naturally.
The next one is so cool. The Storm does a slam knock and calls her assist for the pickup, subtracting 2 stacks from the combo limit. Then she does EX Tornado for massive damage, an easy combo follow-up, and it adds 0 stacks. She follows up with an air combo into EX Whirlwind to add 0 stacks again. Here's the genius part. During the Whirlwind, she does Upward Tempest to push them up, and it makes the move last longer, doing even more hits. This did a good chunk of damage already, but the craziest part is she had barely used any of her combo limit gauge. She could have called another assist to subtract 2 more stacks and done so much more damage. I can't wait to hit the lab and mess with Storm myself.
Okay.
I really wanted to learn Storm because I thought this wind mechanic was really cool. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it, but it's more about manipulating Storm than it is about manipulating the enemy. Like, I just wanted to launch the enemy in all these different directions, but it affects them a little bit, but not as much as I kind of wanted. But this is a cool use for sure.
This next one opens with a slam launcher anti-air and an air combo into EX guns. Not only is this stylish, it's already done a ton of damage, and it adds 0 stacks to the combo limit bar. At the very end, he calls an assist to keep the combo going and subtract 2 stacks. He combos into his ice element, which freezes the opponent and allows for a follow-up. He calls an assist again, which subtracts another 2 stacks and combos into his super skill. His gun is still on the ice element, so it freezes the opponent again. This pushes the combo limit gauge to full red, and he has just enough time to hit with another quick skill to initiate the combo break and Doki. This combo did massive damage, and the crazy part is I don't even think he had to do the second assist call, so he likely could have done almost the same amount of damage and saved 1 bar of his assembly gauge.
Okay.
Anyways, that's the video. If you want more Marvel Tokon content on my channel, please, please, please like, subscribe, and share. Like, I've been studying a lot of footage. I'm really into this game because, you know, I'm a huge Marvel fan. Play Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I know this game's like way different than Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I am very excited for this game, and I want to keep making awesome content for you guys. Anyways, I gotta go. I got more videos to make, so it's back to the lab with me. See you guys next time.
Make sure you subscribe to Gimmer. Please, please, please make sure you subscribe to him, because especially if you're interested in Marvel Tokon, he's going to have a lot of content on there, obviously, doing a lot of cool stuff there. So you definitely want to give him a follow, and he does a lot of lab work and stuff like that. Again, that's youtube.com/@Gimmer. I'll type that in here, youtube.com/@Gimmer, like this. Make sure you give him a follow, because like I said, he's going to have a lot of good information about Marvel Tokon as we continue forward. There was a couple of videos that I had here that I was talking about, so I was experimenting with something here. Let me see. I'm not sure if they're going to add anything at this point, but let me see. I remember there was something significant here. Let me see. Just like down back, just down back. Oh yeah. Like something like this. Oh Jesus, so fast. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. So that was me finding out, you know, that the assist is a fixed assist, right? And so Pupos1 in the chat is asked, you know, saying, do you think that having more universal assist types and having these combo gauge rules could potentially homogenize combo routes across the roster? So like I said, I came into this worried about a lot of that stuff, but no, I'm actually not worried about that, because there's a lot of crazy things, and I'll get into one more thing that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about yet. So let's continue here. Let me try something and then I can do combos from this side. Yeah, so I'm trying to do like a mix-up sequence here. So, you know, I jump over, call Storm, have it hit from over there, change the Storm, and I can now start hitting Star-Lord from over here. Now, while this looks really gross and looks like potentially like, oh my God, that's really scary, actually turns out not to be really scary when I thought about this a little bit more here, because importantly, you only have to block Captain America, right? So as soon as I dash over you, as soon as you start holding away from Captain America, you're gonna block that attack. So this is not actually a left-right mix-up. If I decide to switch to Storm before Storm hits you, like so, you'll see that, and you'll know to switch directions on the joystick. So you're not gonna be able to get the crazy left-right mix-ups from the assist like you can in BB Tag. Like BB Tag is just like, you're just in a terrible situation and it sucks. And Naughty Senpai, this thing doesn't play at like Strive at all, which is good. It is very, very, very different. So yeah, you probably need to add the HTTP stuff here. Try that, maybe that works a little bit better. But the other thing that I wanted to show here was, this is the part that starts getting interesting here, okay? This is the part that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, because, you know, calling an assist drains 2 bars, but obviously you can tag into them, right? So like what I was testing here was the timing of changing to the assist. I can do an assist, and then I can hit it much later, and I change after he does the beam. Like so, like this. So you can do it at different timings. Or if I just hit it and hold it, it changes to him right away. So you have different ways to do stuff. So for example, I might even just be able to do like, oh, I see, but when you're calling the assist in the middle of a combo, they do a unique attack that just gives you, I see. So when you actually call the assist in a combo, you don't get the standard assist. You get something completely different, basically. Like, that's not Storm's assist normally. Storm's assist normally is just that right there. So, okay. But obviously, you don't need the assist meter just to call the assist, but to do the combos and all that stuff like that, you need to have them have the meter for that. Yeah, I haven't really talked about the meter up there. As you can see, it's 3 blocks total, and you get more with more team members, which means you can do cooler stuff with it. There's a lot of mechanics that require these meters over here. But again, this is just stuff that we're going to learn and continue. But, you know, a lot of people have been doing stuff like in a way. So you have different ways to do stuff. So for example, I might even just be able to do like. So what's interesting about this is a lot of people have been using assists to extend the combo for your point character, etc., etc. And they're like, okay, so that's really cool. So, you know, what's the, you know, like, is there a point to do these tag combos and such? And the way to really kind of think about this is that, again, the assists are going to get, like, especially the back assist, there's crazier assists and stuff, but the reason why this is really advantageous is what you'll notice here is that when you decide to tag like this, I haven't seen anybody describe it like this, but that is a Roman cancel for your assist. Because look, Captain America is doing a charging star, and as soon as he gets it, he's in neutral. Literally doing an active tag like that is a Roman cancel for your assist. So that's going to allow you to be able to extend combos quite significantly, I think. So like if you're doing that kind of attack, or let's say you are using it in neutral and you happen to hit somebody with something like that, if you tag it into the other guy, you can all of a sudden start using him to go crazy. So if you're like, for example, like if you do a DP assist, like what if you're like do a DP and you backdash all the way over here? So here, let me just give you an example here. Like let's say someone jumps at you, you backdash, but you called your DP assist the down assist. The down assist hits and you're over there. Well, what you can do is just do an instant tag over here, and now this character Roman cancels and can do whatever they want, and they can continue the combo from that point. And so, you know, having that ability is going to be really, really powerful in my opinion. And again, higher level stuff that you'll learn as you keep going. And not only that, but when you tag over there, you drain 2 of the blocks off of the break meter or the combo meter, whatever we want to call it. And then you can start doing more stuff. So it's really interesting. There's a lot of depth to this. And so this is why I don't think we are going to get homogenized combos, because the ability to swap over and know who is going where. And then the other thing too is that who you swap with is important as well, because when you swap, if I did Storm and swapped, if I did called Storm and swapped over here, Captain America goes into the down assist, right? So now Captain America becomes my anti-air assist. Now, since all the characters are relatively homogenized on assist except for the back assist is where everybody starts displaying some unique craziness. It will matter, like, where you're tagging people to and stuff. Like, it's gonna have to be something that you might want to keep track of, and it's gonna be really interesting. So I think it's gonna be fun, actually. And like I said, coming out of Evo, I just wanted to keep playing it, and then seeing Gimmer's video, seeing the Maximilian video where he was going over all the longer combos and the more advanced stuff. I just started getting all these ideas, and I really, really want to experiment. The beta is this weekend. I guess some people are saying, hey, what's up, Kung Fu Carlito? Thank you for the follow. I guess some people are saying that the beta codes are still going out. I'm not counting my luck. I would have a better chance probably asking as an influencer. Silk Song? Is that a character in the game? I only know these characters here. I believe Spider-Man is in this game as well. I think we saw Ghost Rider at some point. I actually am not currently aware of like all the characters in there. Thank you for the subscription, Making Mary. Appreciate you. Oh, it's Hollow Knight follow-up. I haven't played the original Hollow Knight, so I would probably have to do that first. So, but yeah, like the fact that, you know, it's essentially a Roman cancel of your assist, I think is going to open up a lot of things, especially too, you know, if the opponent is blocking it, then you can tag over there. But again, what's interesting is that the tag timing can change, right? So here, I tap the assist button, and then I tap the assist button again much later, and that's what allows me to go beam into tag, right? But if I hit the tag button and hold the button, then it just does an immediate tag. Like that, so it just interrupts whatever it is that you're doing. So the fact that you can adjust the timing of when you actually tag into your teammates and stuff like that is going to open up a lot of craziness in this game, and I think that's one of the things that's going to make this a lot of fun, and there's going to be a lot of experimentation, and I think there's going to be a lot of variety in this game. I don't think that this game is going to be as Dragon Ball kind of homogenized, at least early on. Because if I'm not mistaken, Dragon Ball got better as time went on, right? Or was it still pretty homogenized at the end for all the characters? I don't remember. But again, like there's just a lot of stuff that I feel like you can do in this game, and I really, really want to get my hands on this game because there just seems like there's a lot of stuff you can do, and it's really kind of making me excited. Oh man. Oh, it got better, then it got bad. Oh no, that's not good. That's about Dragon Ball, obviously, which is kind of unfortunate to hear. But again, like I just feel like that there's a lot of potential with this game. I feel like there's a lot of crazy things that you're going to be able to do in this game, and yeah, all of my worries about, you know, this game being very Dragon Ball, Season 1 Dragon Ball-y, where like all the characters basically had the same combo routes. The auto combos were better than doing the manual combos, because when you did auto combos in the air, it actually made you track to the enemy better than if you didn't do it, which was weird, you know. So there was actually like more reasons to use the auto combo than not to use the auto combo in Dragon Ball and such. So I don't feel like that's happening here with this game, and I feel like there's a lot of potential for this, and there's so much more to talk about with this game than I've even managed to get to. Like a lot of characters, there's a lot of differences between the characters. So Ms. Marvel doesn't have an air dash, but she's Dulcim. She's Dulcim. She's the Dulcim of the game. So she doesn't need it. It's crazy. Captain America has a shield mechanic where his unique skills, he throws the shield, but it's very slow. But if you can hit back and unique, and you actually block with the shield, and if you absorb anything, then the shield toss is really fast. So there's incentive to actually absorb some attacks so that you can actually throw the shield out faster, etc., etc. There's a lot of very, very interesting things happening in this game, and I think, yeah, I will say, out of 2XKO, Invincible, and Marvel Tokon is probably the one that I really want to get my hands on the most at this point. I've managed to play all three, and Marvel Tokon feels like there's a lot for me to explore. A lot of the other games do have a lot to explore, but I don't know, it might be the Arxis guy in me that's just like, I love the stuff that Arxis does, you know, and so I see a lot. It's like not necessarily the gameplay, but I see a lot of the sensibilities that they put in a lot of their games, a lot of the very, very like some of the decisions they made, to facilitate all this stuff is very you just have to sit there and think like, how do we do this? How do we make this work? How can we do this? How should we do? Like they sat there and like really tried to think of a lot of things. Like it seems really very, very fascinating. So yeah, more X-Men characters would be nice, obviously. But who knows? We have no idea what the roster size is going to be. We really don't know how far along. I mean, is this a beta this weekend? I guess it's further along, because I know for Invincible, you know, they're kind of in an alpha stage, so they've got a long way to go. I actually had a chance to try out the motion controls at Evo. They had a secret build off to the side for me. They were like, because I had played the beta, I had played alphas earlier. I was invited to the office and played, and I was like, what about adding motion controls? Because it's one of those things that I'm always just like maybe it's better with motion controls. And so they actually had a secret build, and they knew that I was interested in that, so they allowed me to try it, and I really liked it a lot better with motion controls, but that's just me. So I see a lot of potential with this. I would love to be able to play a beta of this, but also, again, like, betas scare me because every time I play a beta, the character that I really start to like gets nerfed before the game comes out, and then I'm just sad. So, you know, so hopefully, you know, maybe it's good that I don't get in the beta. Maybe it's good that I don't get into the beta. Oh man, but I'm really excited for this game. I'm really hyped for this game. So again, if you're looking for a comparison, like does it play like, you're not gonna find that. It's very unique and it plays itself. Can it be an MvC successor? Like I said, I'm not saying that in terms of that you get to play and it's crazy and it's you get to have assists everywhere and like crazy Magneto fly infinite combos and like, you know, just the hecticness of Marvel. I'm just like, I'm talking about like, is it going to be able to achieve that same feel, that same passion? Like there's something about the Marvel games, MvC 2 and MvC 3, that elicited a certain kind of level of like passion and like emotion out of those games that we don't get in a lot of other fighting games. And I really honestly do feel like Evo and a lot of tournaments have been missing something by not having that game in the lineup, not having a Marvel game in the lineup. And I really feel like, you know, there is a potential for Marvel Tokon to take that spot, right? To have that kind of griminess. But like someone else said in the chat, and I agree with this 100%, is that Invincible feels more like Marvel right now than any of the games. So between 2XKO, Marvel Tokon, and Invincible Free feels the most like MvC. You know, we'll see how this goes. But you know, the biggest advantage that Marvel will always have is that it's Marvel, right? It's very popular. Now, obviously League of Legends is very popular, but League of Legends is also a different genre, so I don't know how much crossover we'll get. Invincible is a pretty big genre as well, you know, obviously coming from the same medium as Marvel stuff, but I mean, you can't compare the Invincible characters to Spider-Man and Captain America and Iron Man, especially after the MCU. And honestly, if Wolverine is not an immediate character that you can play, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I hope they understand how much that hurt MVCI back in the days, not having any of those guys in there. So they better have Wolverine in there. Oh, man. But yeah, there's going to be so many games. Well, not necessarily competing for the slot next year because we don't know the release date of a lot of these games, right? Do we know when Tokon's coming out? Do we know when Invincible's coming out? I don't think we know yet. So I don't know if we know. So, oh yeah, you don't know. 2XK was 100% part of the League of Legends universe. Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, it's a very, very popular thing, but it's a different genre of games. I just don't know if having that big League of Legends fan base translates into them playing a fighting game, because they already have a video game with their favorite characters that they enjoy. Right? If you're a person who just loves watching Marvel and you just love Marvel comics and stuff, like, you'll play a Marvel game regardless of genre because you're like, this Marvel game looks sick. But now you have a Marvel Tokon, you come in here, you can smash buttons and you do cool stuff, right? Like, that has a potential to draw more people than taking an existing franchise that's in a completely different genre, because let's face it, fighting games and MOBAs play very differently, and they reward very different mindsets and different styles. And if you are a person who loves MOBAs and you go like, I'll try this League of Legends fighting game, and you go online and just get your ass whooped, and you're just like, I don't know what to do. Like this, what? This takes too much work, you know, like you'll go back to the other video game that has your favorite characters that you enjoy. Right? It's kind of a crazy way to set it up. So, did they actually say that, Air Kaiba? So someone linked me some stuff earlier, and I didn't get a chance to click on that link. I think it was, yeah, there it is. It's Konya Ranchito. Let's see here. What does this say here? Does it say streaming, sharing footage is not allowed for Marvel Tokon? The beta product and any information or data regarding of your beta product, blah, 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 key pass, blah, blah. You may use the beta product only in your home solely for the purpose of testing the beta product and, except as permitted through beta community forums, you will not transfer, distribute, disclose, or any materials or any information in connection with the beta product to any third party, including through a public exhibition or display, nor discuss your experience with the beta product with third parties or publish or disseminate information about those experiences. So it does sound like you can't actually stream it, and that is a problem. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a weird decision. There's a lot of ways to interpret it. Some people are saying they're not confident in the product, etc. Like, I wouldn't say that, but like, I don't know what the reason is. So, yeah, that's the other thing, Habukami, you know, is like, will 2XKO have a nice player base at the lowest ranks? Can like, will that actually exist? Will that be a thing that can occur? That's the key to all these fighting games. Again, is player base means everything. The reason why games like Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter continue to dominate is because they have the biggest player base, which creates the most players at lower ranks. So when you're trying to learn a fighting game, it's easier to learn because you don't get paired up with Buster McTryhard, who just completely decimates you and then sends you like a hateful message like, you suck, ha ha ha, you know, kind of thing. Having a player base is very, very important. And so these games have to hit the ground running, because we saw with like Under Night, the one with rollback netcode, it came out and the servers were messed up for like a day, I think, a day or two. And then a lot of people are like, it didn't work. And then they just like never played it again. It's just so weird, you know, it's crazy. So, you know, having that player base is huge. Marvel Tokon, Invincible, 2XKO all have that potential. They're all tag fighters, which makes them a lot more complicated. But like I said, I like what I'm seeing from Tokon right now. I think Tokon has a really good way of easing people in. 2XKO seems like they're still figuring a lot of that stuff out, you know, with the different fuses and everything like that. I mean, the fuses that you could use from the first beta to the second beta were completely different, right? Like there was, like some fuses just went away and they added new fuses. So they're trying to figure a lot of that stuff out. The team aspect of 2XKO is going to be the big selling point. To be able to play with a friend, that's going to be the big selling point for that one. For Invincible, you know, a lot of these games are going to be, hi, I'm stuck in a combo and I'm just watching myself get hit, kind of thing. Invincible has a lot of that killer instinct stuff going on in that game, where you can break combos in certain points and such. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of decision making. So the way Invincible works is that, like I said, their combo meter, you build up really fast, but if you tag into your assist, it drains a lot and you can do a lot more combos, etc., etc. Well, when they tag into an assist, you can call a counter tag, and that's basically a combo breaker. So if you can predict when they're going to try to extend their combo by tagging into their assist, you can actually break that. And so there's going to be some mind games with that. Also, it's got combo breakers, and I don't know, 2XKO does have the combo breakers, but, you know, the combo breakers are really strong and invincible, and you get them a lot. You get them a lot and often, but if you can call out when they try to combo break your combo, you can call a super, you can do a super, and your super is invincible to combo breakers, and then you could shoot them, tag into an assist, and keep the combo going. So there's a lot of like little intricacies about Invincible. It's gonna make that very interesting. It does feel like Invincible might be like the highest level, like in terms of like having to play these mind games and stuff like that, but obviously, like I said, the game is still an alpha. A lot can change. A lot can change. Honestly, so yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff happening over here, and I'm really curious to see how this is all going to shape up. We're in a very interesting time in fighting games, honestly. Again, if people want, you know, a comment for me about the Evo news today, it's all over social media, so, you know, if you're like, what Evo news, you know, it's easy to find. The news just came out today, so I haven't really had any chance to sit down and really process it. But also, a lot of new games coming out and such, so there's a lot of, I'm excited, honestly. I'm excited for a lot of these new games to see how they go and to see what kind of more we can do to bring newer players into the FGC. Because I really just think that the fighting game community is awesome, and I think the games are awesome, and I want more people to play them. And it's why I've changed the way I've talked about fighting games a lot of the times. And there's a lot of hardcore players that don't like the way that I talk about fighting games these days. But I think it's really important that we address them at very macro levels, you know, and talk about how different games and the different, like, for example, 2XKO, Injustice, Invincible, and Marvel Tokon, all tag fighters, 3 very completely different games, and that's good. And, you know, at the highest level, a lot of the top players will be like, well, in the end, all fighting games are the same. But we can't talk about fighting games at the highest level all the time, because only like 5% of players will ever achieve that. So we have to start learning how to talk about fighting games from a very different point of view, to not alienate people, to not intimidate people, to not make it so that, you know, so we can try to get rid of some of that stigma that comes with fighting games, which is weird because the stigma is either it takes too much work to be good at, or they're just button mashers. But like, if we could actually talk about fighting games in a more intelligent way, we can open up fighting games to a lot more people. And so that's one of my main things right now, is I'm really trying to change the way that I talk about fighting games. Obviously, I'm not going to convince anyone else to do that. But one of the reasons why I can do this is because I'm fucking old, and I've been playing fighting games for almost 4 fucking decades now. And so I look at them differently. I see things differently. I have this weird viewpoint, you know. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm definitely in that you'll understand when you get older phase, you know, because until you get to this age, having played fighting games forever, it's hard to see why I'm doing the things that I do. You know, it's hard. So, yeah, I'm happy that we're living in a world where we're getting a variety of devs handling complex fighting with great visual flavor. Absolutely. And, you know, that's, again, another thing, like with Invincible, for example, like, it's definitely the most alpha, and I'm sure that game, as we go on, is going to just keep looking better and better. I didn't hear about Injustice 3 leaks. I saw Maximilian put out a video or something about Injustice 3, but I didn't really look into it. So, if there is an Injustice 3, I mean, dude, if they made it a tag fighter, like, the NRS fans are going to be pissed because they already don't like the assists in MK1. So no, don't make Injustice a tag fighter because one, we don't need to inundate another superhero tag fighter, but at the same time, like, make the NRS fans happy, please. What game of the 3 tag fighters do you most like to see time into, personally speaking? I mean, I already said it. Marvel Tokon is the one that I really want to get my hands on right now. One of the reasons is because it also has motion inputs. and I like that. I like that. They're using the Under Night system. Light and medium are 2 different versions of the special move, and then heavy is the EX version. That's the Under Night system, right? They're using Under Night's system for doing special moves. I like having motion controls. I like having multiple versions of the moves, you know, so you have a light and heavy that do 2 different things, you know, so that just appeals to me. So by the way, every character has quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, DP, and down down. All characters that are in the build that we played at EVO, all of them had just those 4 inputs. And I won't be surprised if they tried to maintain that. There's also a unique button that does the special skill for them. So like I said, Captain America does all his shield antics. Storm does the wind, you know, Star-Lord like changes his guns to different styles and stuff like that. So the unique button is different for everybody. But again, the game just felt comfortable to me because of the motion inputs, etc., etc. So I'm looking forward to that game. Yeah. Let's see. There's a lot of people who don't like turn-based RPGs that love Expedition 33. We just need an E33 for fighters, to be honest, but maybe that's just Smash. It's Street Fighter 6. I don't know if people don't realize this, but it's Street Fighter 6. It's just that in Japan, obviously, it's selling more like gangbusters than everywhere else. But the amount of players that are playing Street Fighter 6 have been very consistent. And there are 2,000 plus players who entered the Japan World Warrior. 2,000 players are playing in the local online World Warrior to qualify for Capcom Cup. This is the first one. This is the first one that they've run for the World Warrior. There's 5 of them. There's 2,000 plus players. It's ridiculous. The free-to-play stuff, yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. Because again, if you make your game free-to-play, you need to have a way for your game to make money. And the nice thing about MOBAs and all that stuff like that, they create environments which cater to buying skins and doing all these things, and they came up with all these crazy ways to spend money on all this stuff. And we haven't figured that out in fighting games. We haven't figured it out, and obviously making costumes for fighting game characters apparently is like way harder than it is for making, you know, like MOBA skins. I mean, I imagine so, because the detail of a fighting game character is going to be a lot higher than they are. So, like, do you just charge an arm and a leg for those costumes? You like, it's just, you can't do a free-to-play unless you figure out how to catch the whales. You can come up with all these cool ways to spend money on the game, but if you don't make enough stuff to buy that the whales can fund the game for the people who are broke, you can't succeed as a free-to-play. That's the whole model of free-to-play games, is you're looking for the whales. The whales are the guys who have infinite money and will buy everything that the game has. And again, they're essentially funding the game for everybody else who doesn't spend anything on the game. If I went into Street Fighter 6 right now as a whale and I tried buying everything, like, you really wouldn't be able to give them as much money as you probably would like. You know? There's no whales in Dota and League because you can't power your character with spent more. No, I disagree with that entirely. There are people out there who just buy every skin. I know Dota for the international, they kept getting all those big prize pools because they sold, was like grimoires or these book things that you can build up for some reason that doesn't affect you in the game, but people just wanted to pay for it anyway. Like, you have a lot of stuff that you can actually buy, and fighting games don't have enough stuff to buy, and that's just what it is. Sticker albums, compendium limited gotchas. Dude, if there were no whales in League of Legends, there'd be no League of Legends. That's just how it works. If you talk to any game developer, free to play is funded by looking for the whales. That's the model. That's the business model. If you don't have any whales, you can't fund the game goes away. So I'm sure League has a ton of whales. I'm sure Dota has a ton of whales. So again, I think a lot of it is just the costumes, the fidelity, and like for Street Fighter 6, I feel like a lot of it might also just be that they just don't have a big enough staff to do this right now, because maybe that everybody's working on Monster Hunter or something like that. I don't know. But it's very odd to me that Street Fighter 6 hasn't had as many costumes as... Because Street Fighter 5, they were coming out with costumes all over the place. Now, granted, maybe there's something about the RE engine that makes it harder. There's a lot of modders out there that are making costumes, but they don't have to worry about a lot of things that the developer does, right? Because if they make costumes and there's glitches with the costumes or whatever like that, no one's going to yell at the modder and like be like, oh, I'm never... You know, you're a modder, like, you know what, never support this modder again. But, like, if you're an actual company and you would put out a costume and there's glitches or things go wrong or it looks kind of weird or does some janky stuff, like, that's not good. Like, they have to go through a lot more QAing and a lot more, like, they can't release a costume that's at 90% quality. They have to release a costume that's at 99.9% quality, you know. Is that true in Street Fighter V that Capcom actually farmed out another company to make costumes? A modder is also not limited by time or budget. Yeah, for sure, for sure. What's up, Ricardo? How you doing? Yeah, so, like, fighting games haven't figured that out yet. Haven't figured out to do the cosmetics. And, you know, one of the reasons why to have cosmetics is to make it so that everybody else sees your cosmetics. In Street Fighter 6, you can actually limit that. You can just make it so that you just don't see other people's costumes. And I'm sure that actually does affect sales, you know, because people like showing off their goofy costumes. So, you know, a long time ago, I had joked about making it so that you could change it so that Ryu's Hadouken is a beach ball. Or, you know, like, just do stupid things or have different wind poses. I don't know why Street Fighter 6 hasn't sold more versus screen faces. Like, I feel like that's like come on, like, that's perfect, right? Like, make more faces on that. You know, there's just a lot of things that they haven't quite figured out yet. And it's hard because, you know, with a MOBA, like League of Legends, right? Like, how many characters is in League of Legends? How many new heroes do they add a year? Every hero that they add is like another giant bundle of skins, right? That you can sell. Fighting games, they're releasing 4 characters a year. Like, that's not enough to support, like every character you add isn't adding enough money to be spent for that character. And that's why a free-to-play model wouldn't necessarily work right now for Street Fighter 6. So, right, League doesn't add them a lot now, but for a while they were adding a bunch, right? To waifu skins, yeah. And you can tell here in Street Fighter 6, they don't want to do that. Like, part of them is like, we want to be fair to every character. They're all going to have the same number of costumes. Not like 5, where there was 900 Chun-Li skins, but... as much as I appreciate that and I applaud that attempt, I mean, Capcom, if you need to make money, start making those Chun-Li costumes. Start making those Mai costumes, man. I mean, look, the bikini costumes was great. I mean, I feel like the reason why they're making bikini costumes is because they're like, you know what? We need to increase the influx of people buying stuff in this game to fund more stuff. Because it was a great idea, honestly. Yeah, we need to convince the top brass we deserve a larger team, essentially, yeah. I haven't bought any of the bikinis. Flashy Flash, I don't buy costumes. I don't have enough money to buy costumes, okay? I hate saying that, and I apologize, Capcom. I'm not trying to say your costumes are expensive. I'm saying I'm poor. I am broke AF, okay? So, like, I can't actually buy any costumes. The only reason why I have some costumes is because I got donations from people to buy costumes. But I wish I could do more, honestly. I wish I could get more costumes. My Kimberly is using costume 2, which, to be fair, is still my favorite costume for Kimberly. So, I'm okay with that right now. Obviously, like, bikini Kimberly would be cool, but again, she's also really young and I'm really old, so that just doesn't feel good to me. Like, that just doesn't feel right. So, I'm okay sticking with costume 2 for Kimberly for now. Oh, man. But yeah, so I think that's all I have to say about Marvel Tokon for now. A lot of things that I gotta remember to talk about. Smash is the most intelligently designed fighting game. History of joysticks. Definitely want to talk about a lot of those things. And people are right. If I'm gonna do a history of joysticks, I need to get Markman on there. So I need to figure out how to do that. Get him in there, and then talk about, let him know about the things like. Can you hear that, guys? Somebody's hungry. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Invincible will be a thing or not? I mean, it just depends, right? Right now, the hardest part for Invincible is that, okay, everyone's making tag fighters, and so there's a lot of competition. But Invincible is also the game that is in the most alpha out of all the games. So there's a lot of room for them to adjust and even pivot, thanks to seeing what a lot of these other companies are doing. They may have the advantage in that they can change what it is that they're doing and come up with interesting ideas and maybe learn from some of the mistakes from the other companies, So it'll be interesting to see what happens. So joysticks started in like the 70s? Like, you mean like the 1970s? I mean, joysticks were the initial way to control a lot of video games, but I'm just talking about the history of joysticks with fighting games. What a little fuzzy boy. What a fuzzy boy. Sorry, you guys are going to have to put up with James cuddling his cat right now. That's right. I did want to add a couple of things here. Please, if you guys can, join the Discord. I need to promote this more. I want to do more with the Discord. And eventually I will start adding a lot more features to the Discord. I want to make it a really nice hub where people can get matchmaking and just talk about fighting games. I really want to make it a good social environment where you don't have to worry about a lot of haters, because I will be doing a lot of moderation on the Discord. Also, a lot of things like if you subscribe to me or if you support me through Ko-fi or all that stuff, you're going to get special abilities to, for example, have priority in terms of what matches you'd like to see me analyze on stream. I'll have an open channel where you can suggest anything, but if there's a lot of stuff in the subscriber one, I will prioritize those. If you like support me on my Ko-fi, which I haven't done anything publicly for yet, so I haven't even announced it yet, but once it's fully set up, you know, be an exclusive place to see cool videos of Nathan and Jasmine and funny pictures of these two cats when they're doing fun, cute things, because I will be using the Ko-fi specifically to help me afford my pet insurance, because pet insurance is very expensive. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna try to do. So joysticks originated as controls for aircraft, ailerons, and elevators, and are first known to have been used as such on Louis Barrault's Barrault 8 aircraft of 1908 in combination with a foot-operated rudder bar for the yaw control surface on the table. Yeah, I'm not talking about the history of joysticks, period. The history of joysticks for fighting games, and just how tumultuous that history is. People don't know how easy we have it right now. Holy crap, it's simple. And also, I have received a gift from Victrix. At Evo, they gave me one of their leverless controllers, and I wanted to do a unboxing and a review of it. I just haven't yet. So please stay on my case to make sure that I do that. Again, August was just horrifically busy, so I didn't have a chance to do it, but I will be doing one very, very soon. So, dude, oh my God. Don't talk to me about drive impacts right now, Flashy Flash, please. I don't want to think about drive impacts. Oh, God. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, as the year continues forward, I will be solidifying a lot of stuff, trying to do more content. It was Tuesdays, probably going to be streaming more consistently at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, which I know is harder for a lot of the East Coast guys, but maybe better for people overseas, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm also definitely going to try to stream more often. I know I keep saying that, and I know I keep failing that, but like I said, I'm trying to establish a consistent day schedule so that I can do it consistently. And moving to Tuesday, it was Tuesday to 7:30, so that I start streaming at around 7:30, 8 o'clock every day. I think will be a good start to that. So, all right, thank you guys for watching, and of course, that the day that this podcast graced your ears was the most important day of your life. But for me,
it was Tuesday.
Let me see if I have anybody that I can raid really quick. So don't go anywhere, guys, because we want to support people. So please allow me to raid you guys over to the other stream, and then if you decide not to stick around, that's cool. But let me raid people over and go. It seems like Street Fighter League is going on right now in Japan. So Street Fighter League is actually actively going on right now, I guess. I'm not sure exactly, but what we'll do is we'll head over to Zaffarino's channel, and you guys can watch there, because he says he's watching Street Fighter League, and Zaffarino's awesome dude, really good content creator, etc., etc. So definitely tell him I said hi, and give him a follow and everything, and support him, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.